Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have two hearings in the case of a delusional and paranoid mother and a toxic and threatening father who try to blame a 13-year-old child for their horrible behavior and claim that anything bad that has happened to their daughter is her own fault. At the termination, we find that neither of them have done anything asked of them in order to be reunited. Dad thinks the child needs to improve herself before he'll consider letting her back in his house, and Mom thinks that there are no issues with the child and refuses to acknowledge the traumas she's endured, so she allows the child to run wild and imposes no rules, leading to dangerous situations. What does the judge think of these terrible parents? Let's find out.
Good afternoon. This is the matter of CH, case number 23-50690NA. We're here today for the termination hearing in this matter. Present in the virtual courtroom, we have the child's attorney, Richard Gould. We have mother, Lori Ann Henriquez. We have father, Andre Bell. We have Matt Reens representing Ms. Henriquez, Brent Green representing Mr. Bell, various agency workers, and we have the CASA, Ms. Bauer, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Laura Clifton, who is observing. And I should indicate for the record that the parties have agreed to or stipulated to a virtual hearing given Ms. Henriquez's location out of state. All right, Mr. Vanderkook.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd call Lori Henriquez at this time.
All right. Ms. Henriquez, would you raise your right hand, please? State your name for the record.
Lori Henriquez.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And I should just, before you start, Mr. Vanderkook, I should indicate to both parents, we are virtual. If at any time you need to speak with your attorney, raise your hand. I will put you in a breakout room and we'll take a break so that you can consult with your attorney. All right. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Ma'am, do you understand that? I didn't hear you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Now, Mr. Vanderkook.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Henriquez, could you please spell your name for the record?
Yes, Lori, Lori. My last name is Henriquez, Henriquez.
You are the mother of Henriquez, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
All right. And you were provided a parent agency treatment plan by Catholic Charities to help you reunify with, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Can you tell the court what your barriers to reunification were?
Oh, absolutely. I completed parenting classes. The other one was it? Oh my goodness. I didn't think of it offhand. Parenting classes and my behavior with my therapist. I have him as well. My therapist doctor. And then the other one was supposed to be a domestic violence class, but in Hawaii, there has been a waiting list for months. So that didn't get accomplished. But I'm in DC now, so there definitely is an option for it to get completed. And the other one was drug testing.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that as well. Here in DC, I had pulled up some numbers. I had emailed it to Kyra, and she called and they contact me, and then I contact Kyra and said they'll be waiting for her to send the payment so I can start the drug class, the often drug drops, and then the domestic violence class, excuse me.
So is it fair to say that parenting skills, emotional stability, domestic violence, and substance abuse are your barriers to reunification?
Oh, no, it's not a history for me, but it's what the judge, Judge Knapp had referred for me to complete.
Okay. And do you know why those were identified?
I think because I think with my daughter, I'm really tough on her, really hard on her, and I'm still hard on her um, because I'm a parent raising her by myself, so um, I'm very hard on her when I speak to her, and I think kind of the foster parent at the time thought I was being a little too much for. I said, "Oh well, I've been doing this to Canada since she was a little girl, and this, I'm really talkative with her, and I guess the
Okay,
foster parent didn't accept
do
it."
you remember your interaction with Canada in December of 2022 in the parking lot of the homeless shelter?
Oh, in Hawaii, I do remember.
Okay, and why
Um,
Canada was removed from your care at that point, correct?
she was not. She was placed into like well, it's like a temporary foster. She still was in my name. She still was under my custody. The only reason why she went is because I would get arrested that day, and the judge let me out that night, and she was already into the system. So they said, "Well, Lori, you can keep her here. You don't have to transfer her to back Michigan if you don't want to," because I suggested Michigan for her to go with her father. I said, "Well, my health is kind of iffy. It's up and down. And I just thought that her being with Andre would be good. And then the summer she can come with me, and then I can take her back over because we have split custody with Canada. So I wanted him to at least keep her until, the next summer, and then she would have came back to Hawaii with me."
Do you remember why you were arrested?
Well, yeah, me and my daughter was in the parking lot talking. Like I said, I can be a little pushy with my words. I have improved. And she wanted to be the bigger person, and I said, "You are the child. I'm the mother." And she kind of just blew up. I blew up. We going back and forth, but there was no domestic violence. There was no harmful movement. The people lied on me, and that's why the judge investigated and dropped the charges
Who
on me.
who, who lied?
The people at the parking lot. It's like a building. It was a business at the temporary shelter.
All right.
They lied, and so when the investigators had investigated, they see that they lied, and the judge dropped the charges on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you believe that you're emotionally stable?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And you went to see a therapist, a Damon Ackerman, specifically at the Honolulu Psychology Collective. Is that correct?
A Damon. Oh no, that was online. We had virtual. He was not in present, like in person. It was all virtual.
Okay. Okay, when I see you went to see him, it was virtual then, correct?
Yes.
All right. And uh, what was the purpose of you going to that therapy?
I guess Kyra wanted to. I don't know. I don't think she trusted Hawaii very much. But Hawaii is very honest people. She wanted to find her own therapist for me because my therapist he's a very good person, and his schedule is always booked up. He dealt with a lot of people in Honolulu, and he's not the only doctor, but he's the best one out of Honolulu, Hawaii. So that's why it's hard for him to get me every week. So he'll get me in like 2 weeks because his schedule is pretty booked. He even showed me his schedule. I said, "Oh my, you are pretty busy." People love him, so he's a very good doctor at what he does. So
Right.
that's when she decided to Tyra decided to find one, and that the person she found, he wanted to get to know me, and I wanted to get to know him, of course, and I could share my story with him about me and my daughter. But he kind of said some things that it kind of just made me, in the session, and I contact Kyra and told her I would no longer work with him.
When you say Kyra, you're referring to Kara Hall, the foster care worker?
Yeah, Kara. I always call her Kyra. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to my original question, what was the purpose? What were your goals in talking to the therapist?
I guess that's a good question. I really didn't know either. It's just that it was recommended, and so I just had to follow the procedure with Judge Knapp to make sure I had got it completed.
Are you referring to Judge McNabb?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you were provided a parent agency treatment plan, correct?
Yes.
All right. And emotional stability was identified as believe, one of the barriers. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recognize this emotional instability?
Well, being away from my kids is definitely was one because I always kept my kids with me. So I gotta say that that's the only thing that I was experiencing, still am experiencing, but every day I'm growing, so I'm getting better. But definitely that's what it was, my children.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see. Do you remember being referred to the Waikiki Health Clinic for counseling on a weekly or biweekly basis?
Oh yeah, that's what Dr. Baristo, the one I was telling you about, the best one in Hawaii, Honolulu. That's him.
You
That's a
didn't
center.
you didn't go to him though, isn't that correct?
Oh no, I that's who I see often, every 2 weeks almost. His schedule's
Okay.
booked. He's the only one at Waikiki. Yes.
All right. And did you
Mhm.
fully engage in services with this therapist?
Oh yes, 100%. Yes.
Did you ever accuse them of being on drugs?
Oh no,
No? Okay.
no.
All right. Let's see.
Oh
We're
no,
gonna
the one I accused on drugs was the guy virtual Damon.
Damon Ackerman.
Yes, him. That's I never said the guy in the doctor in Hawaii was on drugs. I would never say anything like that if it wasn't true. But the one I was referring to is Doctor, the one for the virtual.
Oh,
Um,
okay, Dr. Ackerman.
yeah, yes,
Do you remember when you met with, well, it's actually Mr. Ackerman. He's not a doctor. Do you remember the objective of being able to verbalize um, ways to deal with the return of Canada to your care?
yes.
Okay. And did you discuss that
With
with
doc
with
Mr.
Mr. Ackerman?
Yes, yes. He
Okay.
was trying to figure out. He was more confused. And he was just trying to figure out what's going on. All this. I try to break it down as much as possible to him because he was new. But and I really engaged with him. He just said some things offended me about my daughter, and I should took it the way I took it, but I just kind of end the session and then contacted Kara.
Well, how did you take it?
I didn't go off rudely to him. I just kind of in the session I hung up the video and I contact Kyra as soon as possible.
How many sessions did you have with him?
Oh yeah, I had like probably about we ran about probably about 4 sessions. So
Okay.
I think about 4 weeks.
Were
Yeah.
you ever confused about why you were there?
With him to do
Yeah.
the virtual, I
Yeah.
never was confused. He didn't understand, so I had to keep breaking it down for him to understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever claim that you were physically abused by the government?
Oh yes, I'm dealing with that right now. That's something I'm dealing with in Washington. Yes. I don't want to talk about that because that's more it's under investigation, so I can't really say much about that.
Well, who's investigating that?
Washington, D.C.
What, the Washington police, the Metro Police there?
Oh no, the federal courthouses.
Okay. All right. Uh, are you being monitored right now? Are your movements being monitored?
I'm not quite sure.
Is it possible? Is somebody tracking your phone?
I'm not sure. I don't know much about technology, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, do you remember telling Mr. Ackerman that whoever they is, monitor your movements and your phone?
Monitor my movements in my
Hmm.
phone.
Did you
Oh
ever
no,
make
I
that
don't.
statement to Mr. Ackerman?
I don't remember saying anything like that. I don't think if it was probably about a conversation he was talking about, but no. I don't know if he meant, oh, he probably was meant when I had people in public around me or something like that, but no, not just in general. I wouldn't speak like that, no.
Did you need or expect Mr. Ackerman to do certain body language for you, like put his finger up to his lips?
I didn't recommend for him to do that. He did that on his own.
Okay. Did you ever become irate with him?
on that. What happened was, I heard about what happened with my daughter. So, it took me a little time to talk about it because I was still stomaching it or whatever. And, he kind of he asked me how was I doing at the beginning of the call. I said, I'm doing great. And just working with the little things with my daughter, you know. And then he said, oh, okay, that's good to hear. Well, let's talk about, and he put his hands up to his lips like this. He said, let's talk about Canada. And he did like this, like, moving his hands like an oral position. And he said, do you want to talk about that about Canada? And I was kind of confused. How did he find out that information if I never told him? And I told him, I think that's really disrespectful to use the hand language like that towards me about my daughter. She's only 13 years old. And in the session, that's when I contact Cairo. That
Kara?
was the last session. Kara, yes, that's the last session I had with him when he disrespect me about my daughter.
By putting his hands up to his mouth?
He was moving his hands like oral. He said, don't you want to talk about Canada? And then he started moving his hands and, back and forth out of his mouth, like movement like this, you know?
Okay.
And then I was in shock. I said, oh my gosh. And so I instantly in the session, I sent him an email later that day and told him I no longer need his services. So
All right. And you
yeah,
reported all this to Kara Hall?
I did, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of the letter and diagnosis and treatment plan from Mr. Ackerman as exhibit number 1 at this time.
Any objection?
Objection.
No, Your Honor.
All right, it's admitted.
Thank you. Ms. Henriquez, have you ever been diagnosed with any mental illness of any kind?
No, I haven't. Not
Okay.
at all.
So after 4 sessions, Mr. Ackerman stated that you present as having paranoid ideation. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely not. That's not enough time you can judge a person in 4 weeks. And our visit was really short, probably about 10 minutes. He would get on just to get paid and talk a little bit and hang up. I think he's ironic. That's why I end the sessions with him. But yeah, he was no good. And I went, I kept, at least I kept my doctor at Honolulu because he said, oh my gosh, I said I wanted to keep him for backup, but he can verify who I am because he spent months with me. He spent time, he got to know me. And Mr. Ackman, I don't know him and he doesn't know me. And the sessions were less than 45 minutes, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He's always in a rush. He said, as long as I get you he says to me, as long as I can get you on, I can still get paid. If I can get you up to do the virtual, I can still get paid. It doesn't matter about the time. I can still get paid. So if we cut our time, it's okay because I still get paid. So he was really just worried about the money. He wasn't trying to, really invest the time into me and for my daughter. He just wasn't interested enough. And that's why he disrespected, I guess, to end the sessions. I'm not sure, but
Did you keep all of your scheduled appointments?
Absolutely. I did make reschedules with him. I did because at the time he wanted me to download a certain app. I said, "Oh, I can't download a certain app. I have to do it by Zoom." And he didn't really want to do it by Zoom. So once we got it figured out, we was able to do it by iPhone to iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess on the iPhone you can see each other on the iPhone without having to use the app. So yeah, that's why another reason everything was rescheduled. So I rescheduled probably about 2-3 visits, but I did make the four visits with him.
You completed 4. Did you miss any at all that you didn't reschedule?
Oh no, I always rescheduled with him.
Okay. Do you have any barriers to reunifying with Canada at this time? Is there anything that would, should stop the court from sending Canada home to you?
Oh no, nothing.
No. So your parenting skills are okay.
Yes.
You're emotionally stable.
Yes.
You don't have any history of domestic violence?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have stable housing right now?
I do, yes. I live in Washington, D.C.
Okay, how long have you lived there?
I've been out here since August, but I signed my lease back in June or July. I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, so I signed it over. I found the apartment online and I signed the lease. So that's how that went. And then I moved out here later because I was still in Hawaii.
All right. And are you currently employed?
No.
Okay, so how do you pay for this lease?
Oh, I get government assistance. So they help me on my rent
Okay,
because I'm considered low income, so I'm a low income based family.
do they cover 100% of your rent?
No.
So
Probably
how do you make up the difference?
oh, I get Social Security every month.
All right, and how much do you get in Social Security?
That one is 914.
914 a month?
Yes.
No, is that SSI benefits for a disability?
Yes.
Okay, what's your disability?
I was in a car accident. Well, hit by a hit and run, so it put my health in bad shape. So I can't stand or walk too long. I used to be able to work, but I can't anymore. I take my medicine, which is more like for pain, my ibuprofens and all that good stuff. So I'm more chill and relaxed. So
Do you have
I
any
can't.
prescription medications right now?
Just over the counter, I take the ibuprofen.
So no prescription medications?
Well, no, I do have prescriptions ibuprofen as well.
But that's it, no others?
No others, no.
All right. So Washington, D.C. is a very expensive area to live in. I mean, I don't think I could get by on 914 a month by myself, much less support a dependent. So what other income do you have to support yourself and make up the difference in your lease payments?
Oh, I get, like I said, my rent is covered. I get on the government assistance program.
Yeah, but you
So,
said not all of it's covered, so you have to make up a difference.
yeah, the only difference I make up is about 95 or $100 a
Okay, so let's
month.
say it's
Yeah.
100. That leaves you with $814 a month out of your SSI check.
Hmm.
Um, so, Washington, D.C. being such an expensive area, how do you get
It's
by?
it's not expensive as you think. I get disability benefits, so I get transportation, I get all that good stuff, and I get food stamps, so I got food and
Okay, food
yeah,
stamps. What kind
yeah.
of transportation assistance do you get?
Well, I can use the low income tab or they have the for my Medicaid, it will pay for my transportation.
Okay, and what's the value of the food stamps that you get each month?
The value is about 350.
350. Okay, all right. How do you pay your utilities?
All my utilities are included. I've been blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and you have well, are you able to work at all?
No, I
You,
can't.
you can't
I
work.
can't.
Okay.
No.
And you believe that you'd be able to support both yourself and Canada um, on the 814 a month and that's left over from SSI and the $350 in food stamps?
Yeah, see, the deal is with Canada, the food stamps will increase once I have my dependent home with me, and they will give her cash assistance monthly, and because she's a teen, and she'll be able to provide, I'll be able to provide her clothes and her hygienes for her. The government will pay me for the dependent because I consider a low income family.
Okay.
So things will change when Canada come home.
So going back to what I initially asked you about, do you know why Canada was removed from your care?
She wasn't removed. Well, she wasn't removed. I transferred her to Michigan. I could have kept her in Hawaii. Hawaii didn't know nothing about Michigan until I spoke about Michigan. They said, "Oh, you're from Michigan." I said, "Oh, yeah." They said, "Oh, your daughter from Michigan too?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Oh, okay. You want to transfer her to Michigan?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Who stays in Michigan?" I said, "Well, my family is still there, and then her father's there." So that's when the judge helped me transfer her to Michigan. But they didn't know anything about Michigan.
They didn't
Hawaii
know.
didn't. They
Okay.
no, it was my decision to transfer her to Michigan. They said, "Well, Lori, don't you want to keep her here? Just do the classes and we'll hold her for you. You complete the classes and she comes straight home to you. And I thought about it, but when I spoke to Andre, Andre talked and Andre said he'll take her and then she can come home with me. That's the next summer after she spent the year with him for school. So that didn't work out with Andre. So she was removed from Andre, but everything on my end was legal.
Okay.
Everything on my end was legal, meaning the court has transferred Canada to Michigan, and she was in Andre's hand. And now Andre gave her to the system, so I'm trying to fight for her back. So that's how it goes. She never was removed from me.
All right. You volunteered to take Canada back when Mr. Bell was no longer able to, or willing to take care of her, correct?
Yeah, and that's why I'm going through this process. See, if they would have just brought her back to Hawaii, then we wouldn't go through this process. But that's why we're going through this process, so I can get her home with me in DC.
Okay. So just so I understand, there's no barriers to you taking Canada back at this time, right?
No barriers, no.
Your parenting skills are good?
Yes.
Okay. You never assaulted her in the parking lot at
No.
the homeless shelter?
No.
All these people that didn't know you lied?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know why people that don't know you would fabricate?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I said, I don't know why they target me, but I guess
But you
I
were
was a
targeted.
piece. Obviously, if they lied on me, but I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't have a clue.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions.
You're welcome.
Mr. Reams.
Ms. Enriquez, tell me, have you maintained contact with your daughter, Canada?
Oh, yes, I have. Yes.
How often do you speak with her?
I speak to her twice a week or maybe even three times. She has a busy schedule, but she do get to call me as much as she wants, the location she's at through supervision. She get to call me from 7 to 8 every night, but she's so busy with school. She said, Mom, I can call you this day, I call you that day. So I wait for her to call me. So yeah, she calls me about 2 to 3 times a week.
And when you do have telephone contact with her several times each week, what kinds of things do you discuss?
Oh, good question. I asked about how was her day and how did she feel? And I noticed when she get around her friends, she always been that way. She don't like to talk to family when she's around her friends. She like to keep us separated. I think that's pretty good that she does that as well. But I talk about my day. I talk about my week. I try to keep her interested in something she loves is art. So I asked her, can she please draw pictures, keep her talent good. So she's got talent into art. So yeah, that's the type of things we talk about.
All right. There have been some concerns raised in this case regarding substance use. Are you using any illegal substances?
Oh no, absolutely not. No.
Do you have any controlled substance convictions?
No.
Do you have any drinking and driving offenses?
No.
Tell me the current housing that you have is subsidized housing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you have signed a lease for that apartment?
Yes.
How long is the lease?
It runs for a year.
And tell me, do you have functioning utilities at your home?
Yes.
Is the home furnished?
Oh no, that's all on me. Mm-hmm.
So have you been able to appropriately furnish it?
Oh, actually I am. Shortly here I do have beds. So that's a good part. But as far as the sofa and dinner table, it's coming soon.
And it's my understanding you have 2 other children, is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
And where are those children presently?
Presently, they are at school.
Meaning those 2 children are in your care, living with you in Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
And do you have any sort of community support for those children, or are you involved with the Department of Health and Human Services there
Yes.
providing services for those children?
That is correct. Yes.
Tell me what those services are there in DC.
Just food assistance and they will get the cash assistance. We are waiting for that part to come in. That's about it. And I get the free transportation for them as well under me. Well, not free, but discounted through me. So we have our transportation, and the schools are walking distance, so they get the school bus. And
Remind me that your children, the two children that reside with you,
yeah.
their ages.
Oh, one is 15 and the other one is 6.
Now, are both of those children enrolled in school?
Yes.
And when did school start for them?
They started at the end of August of this year.
Any attendance issues for those children?
It was probably a couple of days at the beginning because we had to get them for the bus. So it took a little time for the school bus to come in for them. But they told me, don't worry, to say, Laura, you're not the only parent who's going through this. So it made me feel a lot ease once they told me that. But yes.
Any health difficulties for either of those children?
No.
You've been in DC since August, so a little less than a month, it sounds like. Have you been able to make arrangements to secure these children a new primary care physician?
I have, yes. And a dentist, yes.
Have the children seen the PCP already?
Oh, no. We actually got an appointment coming up on the 20th.
And
So
what's the purpose of that appointment?
Huh?
What is the purpose of that appointment?
Oh, that one is for dentists.
Ah,
And then through the doctor, it's really cool because they have doctors in the school here in DC. So through the primary health care, they be going to Howard University Hospital. So yes, that's also is coming up in October. That one is October.
right. Any behavioral issues for either of those two children?
Oh no, they're very good kids. Yeah. They're teen and being a teen, and I have a 6-year-old son full of energy. So yeah, they're pretty good. They listen.
And tell me about their success in their education. Are they good students? Oh, she froze.
Oh, I'm sorry, the phone had froze.
Yep. So my question is, do both of those children do well in school?
Yes. Yes, they're actually doing really well in school. My daughter, it was a struggle for her at first. But once I sat down with her, I actually attended school with her, I think within the 3rd day of her school, so she can get a little comfortable with the classes and learn. But she caught on it pretty quickly. So yeah, she's doing really good. It's still a little slow process for her, but she's be okay because she's a slow learner as well. But yeah, she's doing good. My son, he's doing great too. So yeah,
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
you're welcome.
Gould.
Thank you, Your Honor. When was it you moved to Washington?
I moved to Washington at the beginning of August. Yeah.
Beginning of August?
Yeah.
And when did you notify Miss Hall that you'd moved?
I notified Kyra, I believe it was the beginning of August. Yeah, I think so, the beginning of August.
And we never provided her with an address of where you were living, is that correct?
She do have the address and copy of the lease.
Wasn't it true that all you provided her was the zip code of where you were living in Washington?
Oh, no, I gave her a copy of the lease. My
A
lease.
copy of the lease?
Yes.
Okay. And was this the same lease that you gave her a copy of when you were in Hawaii?
No, this is a different one. I live in Washington, D.C.
Okay. Now you mentioned as far as you're in Washington, have you made any arrangements or attempt to make arrangements here in the last month and a half to visit with CH here in Grand Rapids or any place in between?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Have you attempted to make any kind of personal visitation with your daughter, CH, since you've been to Washington, D.C.?
Do you mean through phone or in person?
In person?
No, I haven't because I'm in DC, she's in Michigan.
Okay, and prior to moving to Washington, while you were still living in Hawaii, at one point you were in New York, is that correct?
That is correct, yes. I had lost a
And,
family member, so I was in New York, yeah.
and at that point, did you ever make any efforts to have any personal visitation with Canada here in Grand Rapids or anywhere else?
No, I haven't. No. And the reason why is because she's in Michigan. And this is why I'm trying to get her transferred to DC so she can be closer to me. I can visit her in person.
Okay. Now, you mentioned as far as you heard about her being,
I did, yes.
and do you remember where she was located or placed at that point?
Um, she was in Grand Rapids, but now she's in Dearborn. Yeah, but
Was she
she's
at,
in
was she at Mandy's place when you found out about that?
let me think. Let's see. Um, if I can remember. No, I found out before Mandy's place, yes.
Okay. Did you talk to her after you found out about that?
I did talk to her, yes. I was really saddened about the whole situation, yes.
Okay. Did you call her a prostitute at that point when you talked to her?
No, I never called her a prostitute. I probably said to her that I don't want her out in the street because she'll be labeled as a prostitute, but I never call my daughter a prostitute, no.
Did you threaten to choke her out because of the comment?
No, I don't remember saying anything like that. For anything, I probably was really upset about what happened. Then I had to realize that that's not the way. No, I never made threats to my daughter about choking her out, no.
Did you tell her how disappointed you were as a result of this?
Like threatened to leave. No, I don't remember threatening her about leaving her. I probably told her that, let me think if I can remember. Um, I probably mentioned to her that, oh my goodness, I can't remember, but no, I don't remember making no threats to my daughter. I love my daughter.
So if those are the reports from Mandy's place in reference to your this phone call, um, you would indicate that those are incorrect.
Yeah, I don't remember making threats to Canada. I love my daughter.
Were you verbally abusive to the workers at Mandy Place during that phone call?
Oh no, I never was verbally abusive to them. I think they probably took it a little bit. Um, I be careful what I say. I really watch what I say because that is sometimes I could say things I really don't mean. Um, I never made any threats to the women. I talk to them almost every other day. We do have a nice friendship. I grew with them so far. So no, I don't remember making any threats to the women. I do remember saying that they would probably lose their job if they don't, do the right thing and, let me talk to my daughter because I think they was trying to stop the phone call one time and I asked of them, please let me speak to my daughter. I probably said something about them losing a job, but that was so long ago and I made good friend ties with them now. So things are greater in a greater place.
Do you oftentimes have outbursts in your phone conversations with people?
No,
No. Do
no.
you ever?
Do I ever have outbursts?
Yeah.
Um, no, I don't think I do. No, I don't think so. No.
Well, I saw at one point contacted you in an attempt to try to make arrangements to bring Canada CH to Hawaii for a visit to inspect your home and your living environment, and you denied that. What was your
Well,
reason?
we already talked about that, Mr. Gold. Remember that was on the last court date when we talked about that. Now,
That was
we
before, correct? But I'm asking you
yeah.
now.
Okay, I can answer now.
Okay.
The reason why is because I was feeling at that time that my daughter was being taken advantage of for the women to have a free vacation to Hawaii. So that's what my thought of frame was at that time, because they was pressuring me too much for Hawaii. And I said, this sounds a little funny. But yeah. And I said, they wanted me to, I sent pictures of the apartment in Hawaii. They asked for pictures. I sent them pictures. And I told them that for my protection, I would like for them to send someone out to view my home. So that's how that went. And, same here. I would like for you guys to send someone out to view my home, because I just don't want to put my life in danger by sending out photos, recording. I don't do social media at all. So yeah, so I'm really protective about my person.
So let me just confirm here then. You had a chance for them to bring your daughter out to Hawaii to visit with you, and you denied that. You were in New York and did not make any effort at all to have a visit with your daughter. And since you've been in Washington, D.C., you've not made any effort to have a visit with your daughter. Is that correct?
I mean, I wouldn't look at it like that, Mr. Gold. I think you look at it a different way. I wasn't out just, vacation or joy time. Trust me, it's not that. I was in New York for a family emergency. I had a family member pass away from my father's side. So I was in New York for that. And my family invited me. So I went, and that's how that went. And I moved to Washington, D.C. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm out doing this and travel and the United States. No, it wasn't like that. Yeah.
But for each one of those situations, you never accepted or made any effort to have personal face-to-face visitation with your daughter. Is that correct?
Well, if I'm out of town, Mr. Gold, how can I do so? I mean, I'm not, I couldn't come to Michigan. It wasn't no way for me to come to Michigan. But now I want to keep everything legal and do it by the court way. So I want you guys to help me get my daughter home with me, and we'll go from there. I want to keep everything legal. Thank you.
Thank you, Honor. Nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Gold.
Mr. Green?
Just a few questions. Regarding Mr. Bell, has he reached out and tried to co-parent in terms of offering his accommodations for your daughter to live there?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, Mr. Green. Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure.
I'm so sorry.
Has Mr. Bell offered to have Canada live with him?
Oh, yes. He had offered that, yes.
Okay. And when Canada was with you, did he reach out and try to communicate with her, work on their relationship?
When Canada was with me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Andre has.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I have no further questions, John.
Mr. Vanderkook?
Thank you. Ms. Henriquez, you said that you wanted protection. Somebody sent out for protection when Ms. Hall asked you to send pictures of your residence in Hawaii. What do you need protection from?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I didn't mean it as a certain column. I meant it as my personal person. I'm really protective on myself. I don't do social media. I don't go to clubs. I don't have multiple friends. So it's just who I am.
Okay, I understand that, but my question is, what do you need protection from?
Well, it's not a certain column.
What does that mean, a certain column? Column of what?
A column means it's not, I'm not looking for a certain protection from anything. It's just being self-protective, overprotective on myself.
What would prohibit you from taking pictures of your residence and sending it to Ms. Hall? Not
I did
putting it on
that.
social media, just sending it to Ms. Hall.
I guess I'm going to have to object at this point. Mr. Vanderkolk has asked a question. Ms. Enriquez is seeking to answer that question, and he's interrupting her and asking her another question.
That's
I don't
because
think-
the answers are non-responsive, Your Honor.
Then he needs to object rather than yell at my client.
All right, well, I will indicate that, at least according to my notes, Ms. Henriquez did testify that she sent pictures.
Okay. I'll continue then with a different line of questioning, Your Honor. If it pleases the court. Thank you. Ms. Henriquez, you said that your life would be in danger by sending out photos. How would your life be in danger?
I see it on social media, the news, and I don't do social media. I don't post, but I do read it, the news, and still in Michigan, I read the news. It's just that people who post pictures of the person, it put their life in danger. So I don't want to be that person. So
Did Ms. Hall ever ask you to post photos of your residents on social media?
she never asked that. She asked for pictures, and I give her pictures.
Okay. So there was no danger to your life by sending the pictures that she asked for, correct?
Oh no, not for the pictures, but as far as like recordings and all that, I don't do that. I don't do recordings and those type of things.
You weren't asked to make recordings, were you?
Well, yeah, I was supposed to do a recording of the Hawaii apartment. I refused it. I asked her if she could please keep it professional and send someone legal out to my home. I don't want to do anything outside of the court on that's not on paper or record. So just for my safety.
All right. So moving along, how long were you in New York?
Good question. I think I was in New York probably for a few months. Yeah,
When you
few
say a
months.
few, 2 or 3?
Oh, well, no, it's about 3 months. Yeah.
3 months.
Mhm.
Okay. And you flew from Hawaii to New York?
Yes,
Okay.
but mhm.
And then did you go right from New York to Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Okay. And that was in August?
Oh no, you said, hold on, did I go straight from New York to? No, I was back in Hawaii, and
Okay.
then I had left Hawaii to Washington D.C.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay. So you're able to get from Hawaii to New York, stay there for 3 months, go from New York back to Hawaii, and then Hawaii to Washington, D.C. Did I understand that correctly?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. But during all those moves, all that traveling, you couldn't find a way to get to Michigan.
I'm not coming back to Michigan. I'm not. It's not. I love Michigan. I love Grand Rapids. I love the people. I miss the food. I miss the atmosphere. It's a beautiful place. I even miss Michigan water, but I just got older. I'm 38 and I outgrew it. So yeah,
Did you outgrow your daughter?
no, I outgrew Michigan. So
Okay, but your daughter's in Michigan.
yes, that's why I'm going through the court process to get her home
Okay. But
to Washington, D.C.
with all the expenses of traveling from Hawaii to New York to Hawaii.
Your Honor, I have to object. This is asked and answered. It's just becoming argumentative.
I think the point's been made.
All right, I'll move along. Actually, I have no other questions. Thank you.
Mr. Gould.
Thank you.
I have nothing further.
I didn't understand that, Mr. Gould.
Sorry, I have nothing further. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Reens.
Nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Green.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Enriquez, I'm going to mute you because you're done with your testimony at this point. All right. Next witness, Mr. Vanderkook.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd call Kara Hall.
Okay. Ms. Hall, would you unmute? Would you raise your right hand? Would you state your name for the record?
Cara Hall.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Hall, would you please spell your name for the record, please?
Carahall.
You are the foster care assigned to the CH case, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. How long have you been on this case?
Since June 2023.
All right. And did you inherit or provide a parent agency treatment plan for Ms. Henriquez to assist her in reunifying with CH?
Yes, I did.
Okay, was parenting skills one of the identified barriers?
Yes, it is.
All right. And what were what was the main concern or main concerns involved with her parenting skills?
Well, the initial reason why Canada CH came into foster care in Hawaii was due to physical abuse. Throughout the case, Miss Henriquez, has attended parenting times, however, been inappropriate by giving time frames of when CH would return home, talking negatively about Mr. Bell, talking negatively about agency workers to CH. She also, after finding out that CH was assaulted, threatened to leave her in foster care, was cursing at her, and she also, she was having 2 phone calls a week from the beginning, and she went down because she said there was not enough to talk about 2 times a week for 30 minutes.
Did that negatively impact CH?
Yes, it did.
How so?
It made CH feel like her mom was happier without her. Oftentimes, when Miss Henriquez was in Hawaii, she would be sitting on the beach and talking about how great it is there, which actually made CH upset. And oftentimes, after phone calls with her mother, she would have a lot of attitude towards her care providers. And yeah,
Okay.
that's all of it.
Now, was CH in a residential facility during some of these? We'll strike that. These parenting time visits were all virtual, correct? Over the phone or video?
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Henriquez never visited CH while she was in care here in Michigan?
No.
Okay. And did she ever arrange for CH to go to Hawaii or New York or Washington, D.C. for a visit?
No. Well, we asked Miss Henriquez on several different occasions to come to Michigan to visit her, and she refused. We actually got funding to send workers out to work with Miss Henriquez, and offered in that to bring Canada as well so they could visit in person, and she refused that.
Did she say why she refused?
Because she didn't want to give the workers a vacation, which is why she would not allow us to go to Hawaii, and she would not come to Michigan because she said that's her past and she doesn't want to move backwards.
All right. Was CH in a residential facility during any of the times that there were virtual parenting time visits between her and her mother?
Yes, she has talked to her on the phone at the residential.
Okay. And did Ms. Henriquez ask to cut short the number of visits during the time that CH was in the residential facilities?
Not since she's been at the residential.
Okay. Let's see. What services did you provide or offer to provide or refer Ms. Henriquez to address her parenting skills?
I referred her to a trauma-informed parenting class twice, I believe, which the first time she did not complete it. She did complete it, but she did not successfully complete it. She got a certificate of participation only. And I have also tried to refer her to counseling to help her address her parenting skills and emotional stability. And that has been a struggle from the start. And I had her do MSU Extension, which is a series of virtual parenting sessions, which she did participate in that. There's no really completion or anything certificate that you get from it. And then I did refer her again to do the trauma-informed parenting, which she did not successfully complete. And she refused to retake the same class.
All right. Why did she only get a certificate of completion without successfully completing the trauma-informed parenting class the first time?
Because she left early from classes and signed on late.
All right. And you said there were two referrals. One, she went through it but didn't successfully complete it, and the other she refused to re-engage with. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. How would you rate her progress with the MSU Extension virtual parenting sessions?
I would say poor, considering the conversation between her and Canada when she was occurred after she completed that.
Okay. Have you seen any internalization or application of what may have been taught in the trauma-informed parenting classes or MSU Extension classes?
No, I have not.
Were there any services in Hawaii that you were able to refer her to?
For parenting?
Yes.
No, I had difficulty finding classes there.
Okay. Has Ms. Henriquez verbalized or demonstrated any insight into the reason that CH was removed from her care?
No, she takes zero accountability for why Canada is in care.
Okay. All right. We heard her testimony today that she still denies assaulting Canada. Does CH report differently about the assault?
What was that?
Did CH ever talk about what happened at the homeless shelter parking lot in December of 2022 with Ms. Henriquez?
She has.
Okay, and what's her version of it?
She reported that her mother was intoxicated and became aggressive with her.
Did she ever tell you how that affected her? Her being CH?
She almost validated it, saying that she caused that behavior.
Okay.
And her mom made her feel like she caused that behavior and that she deserved it.
Is that a matter of concern?
Yes.
Did you ever address this with Ms. Henriquez?
I mean, the fact that she has not taken any accountability for that happening in general, it's hard to address any serious concerns with Ms. Henriquez.
Okay, and would that lack of acceptance of responsibility affect CH's well-being?
Yes.
All right. Did you talk with Ms. Henriquez about not discussing the details of the case and expressing negative thoughts about service providers with Ms. Henriquez?
Yes, I've addressed that several times.
And what was her response?
When I talked to her outside of parenting times, she said that she would stop and that she understood, and then she continued. There was one parenting time that I was watching the call, and she told Canada, "Watch what you say, they're plotting against me," and a series of negative things. And I told Miss Henriquez I would end the phone call if they did not stop.
Did you have to end that phone call?
I did not. She did stop, but the call ended not that long after.
I see. Were you aware of any unsupervised phone calls between Ms. Henriquez and CH?
At her last foster care placement, there was a parenting time that Miss Henriquez missed. And then Canada had a 45-minute phone call with somebody that the placement did not know who it was. And she looked at the number and it was Miss Henriquez's. So there was a 45-minute conversation between them that we don't know what was talked about.
Is that concerning?
Yes.
Was Ms. Henriquez made aware that any contact needed to be supervised?
Yes.
Um, how did CH react when she informed her mother about the residential facility and Ms. Henriquez reacted in the way that you testified to? The accusations, the cursing. How did that affect CH?
She was upset by it, and it furthered her notion of blaming herself for what happened.
Okay. Not good for her mental health?
No.
Are you aware of whether Ms. Henriquez contacted the facility, the residential facility, after that call?
She was at shelter at that time,
Okay.
during that phone call, and she did contact the shelter after that.
Are you aware of the nature of that conversation?
Yes, she left several, as long as the voicemail would let her leave, of cursing and saying she was going to get them all fired from their job. And yeah.
Did you confront her, Ms. Henriquez, with this information?
Did I what?
Did you ask Ms. Henriquez about these voicemail messages that she left?
Yes, she said they didn't happen.
Okay. How would you rate, well, just a second here. Did you ever ask Ms. Henriquez why Canada wasn't returned to her care after Mr. Bell refused to take care of her?
Yes, she stated that the only reason she couldn't come home is because she needed to complete a parenting class.
But she refused to take a parenting class, right? The second trauma-informed parenting class that you referred her to?
Yes.
Okay. How would you rate Ms. Henriquez's progress in parenting skills?
Poor.
Okay. Emotional stability was also identified as a barrier, correct?
Correct.
Right. And was her assault on CH in the parking lot one of the bases for identifying emotional stability?
Yes.
Okay. Would you please tell the court what progress, if any, Ms. Henriquez has made in this area and what services were offered?
I have been trying to refer her for a psychological evaluation and consistent therapy since the beginning of me being on this case. She did complete a behavioral intake. However, it was completely self-reporting, and we got no information of doctor recommendations or anything. Working with me being in Michigan and Miss Henriquez and services that she needs being in Hawaii has been really difficult for me to find services and to be able to contact them with the hour change as well. And Miss Henriquez has done no effort to finding anything on her own. For after she completed the behavioral intake, she said that she could do therapy with that therapist. However, appointments were scheduled a month to 2 months apart because that was only their availability. So I told her that she needed to find a different therapist that worked with her more consistently for it to actually be effective. She did not help at all with finding a therapist. I contacted at least 8 different therapists for her to work with, and Mr. Ackerman was the first one that was able to take her insurance and work with her consistently. She only attended 3 appointments with him and missed 5, I believe. And she ended his services I guess,
Well,
because
don't
he
guess.
wouldn't. Okay, not I guess. She ended his services because he would not put his finger back on his lip like she wanted him to.
Okay. And
He
that's
instructed her about 3 times to do so, and then when he said no, let's get back to the session, she was like, "You're fired. Don't ever talk to me again."
And that was per the report that's been admitted as exhibit number 1, correct?
Correct.
Just to clarify here, that behavioral intake appointment that you testified to, that was in October of 2023 with the Waikiki Health Clinic?
Correct.
Okay. And that was, the results were based entirely on her self-disclosure?
Correct.
Okay. And the conclusion was that she didn't need counseling based on that self-disclosure, fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Is that consistent with the behaviors that you've seen in Ms. Henriquez?
Yes.
It is, that she doesn't need any counseling?
Oh, sorry. No, I misunderstood your question.
All right. Okay. Okay. Now, once again, I'm sorry if I already asked this, but why didn't she continue with counseling or services at Waikiki?
Because they were only able to see her once a month or once every 2 months.
Right.
After she fired Mr. Ackerman, she did send that she saw that therapist again.
Okay, and what were the goals that were to be addressed with that therapist after she fired Mr. Ackerman?
With the new therapist,
Yes.
I mean, goals that she was working on with Mr. Ackerman were how to not be defensive. He suggested and recommended that she complete a psychological evaluation and be evaluated for medication. And yeah, so that is what I would expect to be worked on with this therapist as well.
All right. And did she ever engage in a psychological evaluation?
No, she did not.
Okay. Did you locate a psychologist who was willing to do that?
I was having trouble finding one.
Okay. Did you get any reports from this new therapist?
I have not, no.
Did you request any?
Also, issues with me being in Michigan and Hawaii is I have reached out to providers to send me things, and most of them do not. And I have asked Ms. Henriquez to get things for me, and she says I can reach out to them myself.
And has she done so?
She has not, no.
Do we know why she has not done so?
She said that I can do it, that if I want it, then I need to do it.
Okay. But you tried, correct?
Yes.
And you were unsuccessful in your attempts.
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Henriquez did nothing further?
Yes.
Is that a barrier to her overcoming her emotional stability, the lack of information?
Yes.
Okay. Has Ms. Henriquez demonstrated or verbalized any insight into CH's needs?
She does not unless I say things first.
Okay. After you tell her what CH's needs are, does she demonstrate any insight into what she needs to do to assist CH with her needs?
No, she blames everybody else for why Canada is behaving that way and thinks that Canada has not done anything wrong. Canada has a very extensive safety plan, including like she cannot go out without supervision. And Miss Henriquez doesn't see any need for that. She thinks that she should be able to go on the bus by herself, go walk to the store by herself. She thinks that she should be allowed to do that, despite CH going AWOL several times, being with random men that she's met online. She sent Miss Henriquez sent Canada CH a phone for Christmas last year, despite us telling her she could not have a phone because she used it to meet random men and talk to random men.
And even since then, Enriquez demonstrated any insight into why that was inappropriate.
Ask that again.
Since that phone incident where she sent CH the phone and she was told, that's not appropriate, has she demonstrated or verbalized any insight into why that was inappropriate for CH?
No. I mean, she didn't send her another phone, but
she's never verbalized to you why that was wrong and she shouldn't have done it?
no.
Okay.
She still thinks that that CH should have access to electronics.
Okay, given her behavior and her statements and her interaction with you, you believe that Ms. Henriquez is stable enough to safely parent CH at this time?
No, not based on the interactions with me.
Okay. Has she made any progress in the area of emotional stability that you're aware of?
No.
Child characteristics was also a barrier, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we just heard your testimony about some of CH's issues. Are there any others that haven't been testified to yet that the court needs to be made aware of?
She also has a history of and ideations and self-harming. Also, she has made several statements towards caregivers.
Let's see. Significant behavioral issues, fair to say?
Yes.
And has Ms. Henriquez acknowledged these behavioral issues?
No, she has not.
You've made her aware of them, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you offered to work with her to help her gain understanding and insight into Canada's issue or CH's issues?
Yes, but she doesn't see them as issues. She sees CH as a normal child with no behaviors.
Okay. So has Ms. Henriquez made any progress in gaining insight into CH's child characteristic needs?
No.
Is this still a barrier to reunification?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about housing now. That was identified as a barrier, correct?
Correct.
All right. Could you walk us through Ms. Henriquez's housing history since you've had the case and where it stands now?
She reported to me back in July 2023 that she had housing in Hawaii and she sent me the lease for it. Since then, that lease was up in December of 2023. During that time, we were requesting that Ms. Henriquez either allow one of our workers to go out and view her home or do a virtual tour with us. So a video like this that's not streaming, just walk around her phone and show us the place and that's it. She refused to do this and we told her that this was going to continue to be a need until she did one of these things. And then December in 2023, I asked for a new lease or if she was re-signing. She did not sign or did not send a lease for a period of time. And when she did, it appeared to be forged because it was the same exact lease she had sent me back in July 2023. It just was crossed out and the dates were changed. When this was expressed to Ms. Henriquez, she said that that's what her landlord decided to do. And the dates on the lease also expressed that she did not have housing because they were from December 19th, 2023 to December 18th, 2023. So like a negative day of housing.
Okay.
And when I requested her to send a lease that expressed that showed she had housing, she said that was the only lease that she had.
All right. Did you have a concern about an address on an initial lease that you received from her in August of 2023?
Did I have an address?
Well, did you have a concern about an address for the Punawai rest stop?
Oh, yes. When I initially asked her before she even sent me the lease, the address that she gave me was a homeless shelter's address. was her address.
Okay.
But then
Does
she
your
sent me a
explain-
lease stating she had housing during that time.
Okay, at a different address?
Yes, the address on the lease was a different address than she had previously given me before the lease.
Did she ever tell you why she sent you a lease with the address for a homeless shelter on it?
So the lease wasn't the homeless shelter address. She had sent me her address before sending me the lease.
Okay,
and that was of a homeless shelter. And then she sent me a lease with a different address. That was a condo.
Thank you. Let's see. Did you ever ask her to make a recording and post it on social media?
No, I did not.
She did send you some pictures of an apartment, correct?
Correct.
Was the apartment furnished?
No, there's barely any furniture in it.
Okay. Did she ever provide you proof that it was later furnished?
No.
Is that a matter of concern?
Yes.
When did you become aware that she was in Washington, D.C.?
She told me on a video call with the foster care project manager as well on August 19th, 2024.
Okay, approximately a month ago.
Yes.
And how long had she been there in Washington, D.C. at that point?
I do not know.
Okay. Did she send you pictures of that residence?
No, she did not.
Okay. Did she send you a copy of that lease?
She did yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yes.
So 2 months since she'd been there, as far as we know, correct?
Yes. And I had been requesting it since August 19th when she told me she moved.
Do you know why it took her so long to get that to you?
I do not know.
Okay. Were you aware of when she was in New York?
Yes.
Okay, at the time, were you made aware of this?
No, I did not know how long she had been there, when she got there, when she left, but I did know she was there.
Did you have a way of communicating with her when she was in New York?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be important for you to know her, what her current housing situation is, back when she moved to Washington, D.C.?
Say that again?
Would it have been important for you to know what her housing situation is or was back when she moved to Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you when she was in Hawaii that she was going to move to Washington, D.C.?
No.
This would be important for you to know to help her out with housing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did she ever do a budget with you after she was in Washington, D.C.?
No, she is not.
Would that be important to help her with this housing barrier to reunification?
Yes.
Okay. You offered to do this with her, fair to say?
The budget?
Yeah.
I have not since she moved.
Okay. But previous to that, you did?
Yes.
And was she willing to do that with you?
It took her a significant amount of time before she completed the budget. And then when she did complete the budget, there were concerns that she had no extra money on a monthly basis. And I addressed that with her, asking what her financial plan was if Canada were to return home. And her statement was, she sent me the budget. That's all I needed to know. That explains
Is
it.
that true? Is that all you needed to know?
No, because according to the budget, it does not appear she would have the financial stability to take care of Canada.
Did she ever report receiving food stamps to you?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Did she provide documentation of the amount?
She did not provide me documentation, but she told me it was $245 a month.
Okay, that's different than the $315 she just testified to, correct?
Correct.
But both of those are just self-reporting. We don't have any proof that she's actually receiving those, correct?
Correct.
And we don't know what it might go up to if CH were returned to her care, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And did she provide you any proof or documentation of any Section 8 benefits that she may be receiving?
She did. It did not say an amount that it paid for, though.
Did it give a percentage?
No. She told me it was 60%, I believe.
Okay. And did she tell you what her current rent is, or what the lease amount per month is?
Of her current lease?
Yes.
She did not tell me. I'm not sure if it says on the lease or not. I think it does, but I don't remember the amount.
Okay. Do you have concerns about her ability to support herself and CH if CH were to be returned to her?
I do.
Okay. And do we have any idea of whether the housing is appropriate for CH?
No.
Okay. Has she overcome the housing and resource availability and management barriers to reunification?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Domestic relations was identified as a barrier, correct?
Correct.
And that was based on her assault on CH, correct?
Correct. Also, the homeless shelter that they moved to when they moved to Hawaii, or they moved to Hawaii because Miss Henriquez had a man, and they were at the shelter because it was reported that they were at the shelter because there was domestic violence between them. There was also Mr. Bell had made a comment that Miss Henriquez and him had put hands on each other when they were in a relationship. So due to all of those concerns is why that was listed as a barrier.
Okay. And was Miss Henriquez ever substantiated for threatening a DHHS employee?
Yeah, she was.
Have you witnessed her act aggressively, either verbally or physically?
Yes, I have.
Which one? Or both?
Verbally.
Okay. Was that directed towards you?
Yes.
Anybody else that you witnessed?
Also other staff members.
Oh. Does she accept responsibility for this?
No.
What services were offered to her, or was she referred to address this issue?
I initially referred her to a domestic violence assessment, which was the same one she was referred to when the case was open in Hawaii. Initially, she refused to do the service. Eventually, she agreed to it, and it was rescheduled several times because she continued to miss the appointment. It was completed eventually, and then she told me that she was put on a wait list. I have called several times to get the assessment, and they say that I don't have consent because one of the paperwork was filled out wrong. I have asked Ms. Henriquez to call them and make sure that I have consent to get this, and I have still continued to call, and they say I still cannot get it. I have asked Ms. Henriquez to get a copy of it and give it to me herself, and she refuses to do that and says I need to do that on my own.
And you've tried to do that on your
Yes.
own, correct?
But I cannot because I don't have consent.
Okay. Since Ms. Henriquez has been in Washington, D.C., has she sought out any domestic violence counseling or other services that you're aware of?
She did find a place that she says, actually, no, domestic violence is that's not one of the ones that it does. No, she says that I need to find her something for domestic violence in Washington.
Okay. So what progress has she made in the area of domestic relations?
Poor progress.
Okay. Even though this case has been open since June of 2023, well over a year, she's not made any progress?
It's been open since April of 2023. I came on it in June of 2023, but yes.
Okay. Now, communication and interpersonal skills was also identified as a barrier, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we've heard about your interactions with her. Is there anything else the court needs to know about her communication or interpersonal skills that you haven't testified to yet?
She has stated that if you disagree or have a different opinion than she will accuse you of being on drugs. She has accused me of being on drugs. She has accused my supervisor of being on drugs, and she even stated to my foster care project manager that she's starting to think he's on drugs because he doesn't agree with her. She also has made comments that she thinks I am molesting children because I don't agree with her.
You're not on drugs, are you?
No, I am not.
Yeah, you've never molested any children?
No, I have not.
Okay. So what progress, if any, has she made in the areas of communication and interpersonal skills?
Poor. She also, if I do not answer within 5 minutes, she will send an email to every email she has of the people in my facility. She has called my phone, called my supervisor's phone several times in a row, left as long as she could leave voicemails one after another. And she has even gone up to the director of my agency, who has tried to work with her and reason with her and has not. She has also attached the White House as President Biden on emails.
I see. All right. Before I move on to Mr. Bell, well, let me back up. Those are all the barriers to reunification for Ms. Enriquez. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. You prepared a termination report for today's hearing. Is that true?
Correct.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of that report as exhibit number 2.
Objection?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Thank you. There's a CASA report as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, I move for the admission of that as exhibit number 3, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, it's admitted.
Thank you. And lastly, there is an updated service plan that I move to be admitted as exhibit number 4.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, it's admitted.
Thank you. So turning to Mr. Bell, now you identified parenting skills as a barrier to reunification with him. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. What progress, if any, and what services were offered to help Mr. Bell address his parenting skills issues?
I initially referred him to a trauma-informed parenting class, which twice. The first time it did not happen because he was not notified in time. The second time he refused to make an email to participate. Then I referred him to a different parenting class, and he was able to complete that in person, and he did successfully complete it.
Okay. And were you able to see whether he applied any of what was taught in that parenting class with CH?
Initially during parenting times, they relatively went well when he came. He parented her. He asked how she was doing. However, he did not show for a lot of the appointments. Either no call, no showed, or said he wasn't coming because it was the beginning of the month and he had to pay bills or something like that.
Well, he wasn't charged for parenting time visits, was he?
No.
So what does paying bills have to do with not showing up for parenting time visits?
He said the beginning of the month is busy for him because he has to go places to pay his bills, so he couldn't come.
Let's see. This was after the parenting class that he completed?
Correct.
Okay. Did there come a time when he refused to take care of CH anymore?
Like since she's been in care,
Yes.
due to CH's behaviors, he has constantly made comments about wanting to throw in the white towel, and be done participating because he was doing everything he needed to, but she was not, for her to return home.
Okay. Did he have issues with CH's attitude?
Yes, he said that she's disrespectful and that she needs to learn her place and to be a kid before she could return home.
Okay. And has he used appropriate language with her?
Inappropriate language with her.
Yeah. Yes.
During the last in-person parenting time visit that they had, he asked CH what she has done since she has been in care to better herself. And she had said she had only been in therapy consistently with Lynn Jackson. And he said, that's all you've done for over a year now. And that if she doesn't do better, then she can't come home. CH got upset and told him, then don't come, like leave now and don't come back. And he said, okay, I won't. They argued in the hallway for a bit longer. And then I had a conversation with him afterwards, and he was still on the fence of saying, I don't know if I want to continue this if she's not going to do anything.
And where is he now in his position on caring for CH? If you know.
Still in that mindset.
Okay. Did he ever express frustration about CH not doing more as far as paying for like household expenses?
So I know at the initial removal, there were concerns about him expecting her to pay for things. I did have a conversation with him about it, and his comment that he made to CPS was, if she's going to act like she's grown, then she would be paying bills. But he's saying that she shouldn't be acting like that, and she's not paying bills. So that was not an expectation for him.
I see. All right. Did CH ever report any abuse by Mr. Bell directed towards her?
There were journals that CH disclosed sexual abuse by Mr. Bell, and then this was before I got the case.
I see.
These journals,
Okay.
we do not know what happened to them. And when CH was interviewed and Mr. Bell was interviewed, there was not substantial evidence of that occurring. So nothing happened.
All right. Now, backing up to the parenting time visits, you said he would no call, no show at times, correct?
Correct.
And how did this impact CH?
She was very upset by it. She, going into visits, would ask, is he actually going to show up today? And it made her feel like he didn't want her. He didn't want to spend time with her.
Has he ever acknowledged this?
No.
Okay.
She also said she felt like everything is her fault, and she often blamed herself.
Okay. As far as you know, is that where she's at right now? Still blaming herself?
Yes.
Okay.
When I went to her earlier this week to say the outcome of a potential that could happen after this hearing, she sat there and said, what did I do wrong?
Okay. Has either parent ever reached out to CH and assured her that her being removed from their care was not her fault?
No.
Okay. And how do you think that impacts CH?
It impacts her significantly, as like over the entire time that I have been on this case, she has said several times that she thinks it's her fault. No matter how much we reassure her as an agency or CASA worker, she still feels like it's her fault.
When was the last time that Mr. Bell saw CH?
I don't remember the exact date, but the end of June 2024.
And that was in person?
Yes.
Okay. Have there been any virtual visits or telephonic contact between the two of them since then?
There has been in the past like 2 weeks.
Oh, so he's gone from June of 2023 till August or early September of 2024 with no contact?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you know why he decided to get in contact 2 weeks ago?
Initially, when that last visit happened, in-person visit happened, he was saying that he didn't know if he wanted to continue visiting in person. CH then moved to the other side of the state at the beginning of July, on July 8th, 2024. Mr. Bell does not have a car, and it's not in CH's best interest for her to be transported 2 hours back and forth, especially because she is a flight risk, as she did run when we brought her to the shelter. I did tell Mr. Bell that he could have phone calls with her, since in-person wasn't a viable option with where she was placed at the moment. And initially at the shelter, he said he didn't want calls. He had one phone call while he was at the shelter, and then CH is the one who calls out at the residential. And initially when she moved there, he either did not answer, and one time he did answer, said he was busy, and asked her to call back, but she couldn't call back because she has time frames. But then she continued to call, and they have spoken since.
And what is CH's view of him now that he's reached out after over a year to get in touch with her? What's her view on him?
She states she does not want to live with him, but she does desire to rebuild a relationship with him.
Do you think that would be in her best interest after all this time?
No. She states she does not want to live with him, but she does desire to rebuild a relationship with him.
Do you think that would be in her best interest after all this time?
No.
Okay. Mr. Bell, during the last year that he hasn't been in touch with her up until recently, ever provide like birthday presents, Christmas presents, clothing, anything at all to her that you're aware of?
Before their contact, no.
Okay. When you say before their contact, are you talking the recent contact of 2 weeks ago?
No, when he started having in-person visits in January 2024. Before that, there was nothing.
Okay, let's back up. I thought you said he didn't have any contact with her from June of 2023 until 2 weeks ago. Did I misunderstand you?
June of 2024.
Okay, so he's been in contact with her up till June of 2024, then no contact again until 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I see.
Initially, CH was refusing parenting time and wanting to see him. So they did not see each other from April 2023 when the case opened until January 2024 when CH said she wanted contact.
I see. And so did he provide her with anything from April of 23 to January of 24? Anything
No.
about clothes, hygiene items, gifts?
No.
Okay. So how would you rate Mr. Bell's progress in the area of parenting skills?
4.
Okay. And emotional stability was also identified as an issue, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Could you tell the court what progress, if any, he's made in this area and what services were offered to him?
I have been referring him for a psychological evaluation since the beginning. He refused. He did finally accept it in either December 2023 or January 2024. I referred him. He missed 2 appointments, one due to having the wrong building number, and the second was because there was a snowstorm on the day and he takes the bus. The third time it was rescheduled. I drove him to make sure he would attend the appointment, and he did. The results of that, the majority of the recommendations included that he needed further parenting skills. And he did complete the 1 parenting class, but he has refused all other services since. He refuses any individual counseling. He refuses any further parenting classes, domestic violence assessments, classes, anything he refuses.
Did he ever report to you having any mental health diagnoses?
He reported that he has bipolar.
Okay. Did he ever report being hospitalized at a mental health facility at all?
He said he had been to Pine Rest twice, I believe.
Okay. And did he report being prescribed any medications for his bipolar condition?
He was prescribed 2 different medications.
Were those Prozac and Seroquel?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know if he's taking those medications?
He reported that he was, however, the drug screens that we've completed say that he's not.
Okay. Did you ask him about this?
Yes, he said that he's taking them.
Okay. And did he report taking for his mental health?
Yes.
Okay. Are those antipsychotics or mental health medications?
I don't exactly know what they are.
Okay. Do we know if he was in therapy for his bipolar condition?
He was not. He refuses therapy.
Okay. Did he exhibit any struggles with managing his feelings and responses to Canada's behaviors?
Yes.
Okay. How so?
Whenever I tell him any of Canada CH's behaviors, it furthers his thought of wanting to throw in the towel because she's not progressing.
Okay. Has he ever expressed the thoughts of throwing in the towel to CH that you're aware of?
On the last in-person visit, yes.
Is that good for CH's emotional stability and mental health?
No.
How did that impact her, if you know?
She was very upset by it. She said she didn't want to see him anymore, but then she went back to her blaming herself and said she still wanted to talk to him.
Okay. So how would you rate his progress in the area of emotional stability?
4.
Child characteristics was also a barrier, correct?
Correct.
Has he demonstrated any insight into the issues that CH is dealing with?
He says that she is the way that she is because she has lived with her mom and her mom's family her whole life, and that is how she was raised to be.
Okay, and has he taken any steps through services to better himself in gaining insight into how he can be a better parent given those conditions?
No, I did. When CH completed her trauma assessment, I wanted him to complete the bonding piece with her. He was scheduled to go to it. He was having issues though, because he wanted to know an exact door he was supposed to walk in, room number, everything of the building. And then on the morning of the appointment, I called him, which we had discussed I would call him with more specific information. And he said it was too early and that he wasn't going to the appointment.
What time was that appointment, if you recall?
The appointment was at 10 a.m. I called him at 9 a.m.
And that was too early.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. How would you rate his progress in the area of child characteristics?
4.
Okay. Still a barrier?
Yes.
And domestic relations was identified as a barrier, correct?
Correct.
Has he made any progress in this area?
No, he has refused all services since the beginning.
Okay. He reported some physical issues with Miss Henriquez. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let's see. Does he have a criminal history involving domestic altercations? If you recall.
I don't recall on the top of my head.
Okay. Did he ever make threats against CH?
He did when she was removed.
What were those
Um,
threats?
That if CPS did not remove her, then he was going to do her. Just I don't remember the exact details other than her, but other physical things he was going to do to her.
Inappropriate?
Yes,
Did you refer him to the YWCA to address the domestic relations issues?
I did.
Okay, and he refused to do so?
Yes.
Did he tell you why?
He said he already paid his debt to society.
Paying his debt to society is not the same as addressing relational issues, fair to say?
Correct.
And is domestic relations still a barrier to reunification with CH?
Yes.
Communication and interpersonal skills was a barrier, correct?
Correct.
Would you please elaborate on that?
There were periods of time that, like a couple different months, where I didn't hear from him for a whole month. During phone conversations with him, if I called him too early, he would make comments like, I haven't taken my morning dump yet. I could have been having sex with my girlfriend. I also, the night that CH ran away from the shelter when we brought her, I told him immediately when it happened, which was me texting him at 1 o'clock in the morning. And he had said that could have waited till the morning. And that I was ruining his relationship with his girlfriend by texting him at that time, notifying him about his daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you rate his progress in communication and interpersonal skills?
4.
Did he ever hang up on you?
He has hung up on me before.
Okay, is that appropriate?
No.
Has he been aggressive in speaking with you at all?
Yes.
Okay.
He constantly tells me he's not the one on probation. It should all be all about Canada or CH, and nothing should be about him. He's doing everything he needs to do.
Is that true?
No.
Okay. Substance abuse was an issue for him, correct?
Correct.
All right. And what are his substances of choice?
He tested positive for cocaine, and he has reported that he drinks and smokes marijuana occasionally.
Has he expressed any desire to overcome these substance abuse issues?
No, I confronted him about the positive screen, and he said his marijuana must have been laced. However, marijuana was not positive on that screen.
I see.
There were also reports from other people that he uses cocaine. And when I referred him to random drug screening, he refused. He refuses to do drug screens with me anymore. And he refuses to do any sort of substance abuse services.
Did he ever report to you that he had attended Narcotics Anonymous?
I think he did in the intake.
All right. And did he report making any progress while attending that service?
Yes.
What progress did he make? Or claim?
I believe he went for alcohol use, and he said he does not use like he did.
I see. But he's still testing positive for cocaine, correct?
Yes, he did.
When was the most recent positive test?
He only had one positive test on May 22nd, 2024.
And has he refused to take any screens since that time?
Yes.
We don't know what his current usage or lack thereof is, correct?
Correct.
Is substance abuse still a barrier?
Yes.
Okay. How would you rate both parents' overall progress in their parent agency treatment plans?
4.
I'd like to turn to the best interest factors now. Would you please discuss each parent's parenting ability as it pertains to CH's best interests?
Mr. Bell has been offered parenting times and missed several, and has been back and forth about even wanting to parent her due to her behaviors, high behaviors, and says that she needs to change before she can come home. Ms. Henriquez does consistently attend parenting time visits. However, she has downgraded her time on several, she downgraded the amount of time to talk to her, saying more than 30 minutes, there was not enough to talk about. She has been inappropriate on calls, telling CH timeframes, which is not in her best interest because it just gets her hopes up. Talking negatively about agency workers, about Mr. Bell.
And do these factors weigh in favor of termination of both parents' parental rights?
Yes.
Okay. Would you please discuss CH's need for permanent stability and finality as it pertains to her best interests and whether either parent can provide that at this time?
At this time, neither parent has shown stability for themselves to be able to show stability for CH, and for the agency or the court to see them be able to provide that stability, it would take at least 9 months to a year if they were fully participating in their parent treatment plans. And neither of them have shown to participate at all with the treatment plans.
I'm sorry, please continue.
That's it.
Given the length of time this case has been open and CH has been in care, would it be fair to her to make her wait another 9 months to see if the parents can get to the point where they can provide permanent stability and finality?
No, it's not fair to her.
Does this weigh in favor of termination of both parents' parental rights?
Yes.
Would you please discuss the strength of the bond between each parent and CH, if any exists?
Between Mr. Bell and CH, there is not that much of a bond. From CH's perspective, she has not spent a lot of her life with him, and she talks about wanting to build a bond, but it not really being there at this time. For Ms. Henriquez, Canada reports that she loves her mom and wants to return to her mom. However, she feels like her mom does not want her, and that the reason she wants to return to her is because there's no rules and she can go out whenever she wants and do whatever she wants.
Would it be in CH's best interest to return to her mom?
No.
Okay. So there is some bond there, but if both parents' parental rights were terminated, do you believe that CH would be able to process the grieving and still develop in a healthy manner?
Yes.
Okay. Does this weigh in favor of termination of both parents' parental rights?
Yes.
Okay. And CH is currently not in a foster home, correct?
Correct.
All right. I know this sounds repetitive, but could you briefly discuss the parents' visitation history as it pertains to CH's best interests?
Mr. Bell did not have visits with CH due to CH's refusal until January 2024, since he was offered weekly parenting times or weekly phone calls with her being not in the area, and he has only seen her in person 7 times since she was removed. Ms. Henriquez has been consistent with parenting time, however, has downgraded her time and talked inappropriately and threatened to leave her in care.
Thank you. Given the nature of this visitation history by both parents, does this factor weigh in favor of termination of both of their parental rights?
Yes.
Are you aware of either parent engaging in any questionable relationships?
So for Ms. Henriquez, I know there was a relationship where she ended up in the domestic violence shelter. Since then, she has not been forthcoming about her relationship status. So it's hard to determine that. I don't know who she surrounds herself with. And Mr. Bell, I have heard through watching parenting times or comments he makes about girlfriends, to know that he's been in relationships, but he also is not forthcoming and not willing to give me any information to see if they're appropriate.
So given this lack of forthrighteness, do you believe this weighs in favor of termination of their parental rights?
Yes.
Have the parents complied with the treatment plans?
No.
This weighs in favor of termination?
Yes.
Could you please discuss CH's well-being while in care?
Canada has struggled throughout the duration of being in care. She has been in 15 different 15 different placements, including residential placement now, the detention center at one point, and shelter due to no placements being able to properly keep her safe in the community.
I see.
So she has been in and out of therapy due to moving around so much. No services have been able to be consistent for her due to lack of stability.
Even with this lack of stability, does this negate termination being in her best interests?
Ask that again.
Certainly. Yeah, I'm sorry, that wasn't phrased very well. Is she in the best place possible right now?
Yes.
Okay. Does this weigh in favor of termination of both parents' parental rights?
Yes.
There's no possibility of adoption at this time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is she old enough to express a preference regarding the possibility of the termination of her parents' parental rights?
Say that again.
Is she old enough to state whether she thinks her parents' parental rights should be terminated or not?
Yes.
And what has she expressed?
She has expressed that she does still want to go home to her mom. However, she feels like neither of her parents want her.
Do you think Mr. Bell is willing and able to take care of her at this time?
No,
Okay. And how about Ms. Henriquez?
no,
So is her desire to go back with mom in her best interests?
no,
Okay. Does this weigh in favor of termination of both parents' parental rights?
yes.
Do you have a recommendation today?
Yes, it is respectfully recommended that the parental rights of Andre Bell and Lori Henriquez be terminated for CH. Also that a post-termination review hearing be scheduled in 90 days and that CH's goal be adoption and she be committed to Michigan's Children Institute for Adoption Planning.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Gould.
Thank you. Starting with Miss Henriquez, she originally sent you a lease for her apartment in Hawaii, correct?
Correct.
Was that a 1-year lease?
Yes.
And was that the same address though as the shelter address that she sent you as where she was living?
No.
But that lease that she sent you originally, the 1-year lease, expired in December of 2023 also, is that correct?
Yes.
So although she sent you a 1-year lease with a different address than what she had sent you previously, that lease would have expired in December of 2023.
Correct.
And did you ever make any efforts to try to have other people from CPS there in Hawaii or other agencies tour her house to see what it was?
Yes, we did do a request to have that a courtesy worker go to her place. However, Hawaii's policy is that parents need to be close to reunification and made significant progress on their treatment plans for that to occur. And Ms. Henriquez had not, so they declined that.
The first lease that she had showed rent of $2,000 per month.
Correct.
And her SSI was approximately $915, $920 a month.
914, yes.
Okay, did she give you an explanation as to how she was able to afford a $2,000 per month lease?
No.
Was the new lease that she sent you with this confusing dates, was that also for $2,000 a month?
Yes.
Was that also the same address?
Yes.
And the pictures that she sent to you after that lease was sent to you, the new lease, those were pictures of a empty apartment or empty condo.
Yes.
Did she ever give you an explanation as to that?
No.
Has she ever given you an address for Washington where she's living there?
She did yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Even though she's been there since early August.
Yes.
Have you previously requested the address?
Yes. When she told me that she moved on August 19th, I requested it that day, and I had requested it several times since, and she did not send it until yesterday.
Did you ever ask her to take drug screens when she was in Hawaii?
Yes.
And did she ever do so?
No.
And the therapist that she had through, I believe, at the Waikiki Health Club, I think is what it was called. Is that correct?
Health clinic. Yes.
Health clinic. Okay. Did she ever miss any of the appointments with that therapist?
Yes.
Even though those appointments were scheduled out a month or 2 months separated.
Yes.
Now, did you know that she was in New York for, I believe she said, approximately 3 months?
I did not know she was there that long.
At any time did she ask you, hey, you would fly her out to Hawaii? Obviously, New York is much closer to Michigan. Could we make an arrangements for you to bring her here to New York, or I'll meet you in Ohio, or I'll meet you in Pennsylvania, or anything like that to have a face-to-face visit with her?
We did request her to come to Michigan on several different occasions, and we only asked her for Canada to go to Hawaii, and she refused all of that.
But did she ever ask you, as far as, again, you'd go all the way to Hawaii, could we arrange some sort of mid-ground visit or anything such as that while I'm here in New York?
No.
How
She
about
was
since
also
you've
not
been
the initial. She was also not the initial one to tell me she was in New York. CH was.
Had she already gone back to Hawaii at that point?
No.
How about since she's been in Washington? Has she ever inquired about, could we make some sort of middle ground or something else to have a visit since I'm here in Washington versus in Hawaii?
No, and we also brought up the fact of visiting in person would be more beneficial, and she still refused it.
Now, you touched on this a little bit in the direct exam, so I just want to kind of emphasize this. You notified Miss Enriquez of the against CH here in July. Is that correct?
Correct.
And at that point, CH was at Mandy's place. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you describe to the court your understanding of the phone conversation that Miss Enriquez had with CH when she heard about that?
You said describe the phone call.
Correct.
Miss Enriquez had threatened to leave her in foster care, was cursing at her, and told her that it was her fault that it happened.
So she was blaming CH for that fault, even though CH was only 13 years old.
Correct.
And the other alleged perpetrator of this is a 18, 19, 20-year-old person or something like that. Is that correct?
Correct.
At all during that phone conversation, did she exhibit any sort of concern for CH's well-being?
No.
And moving on to Mr. Bell, you mentioned that originally he had threatened CH to get her to leave the home. Is that correct?
Correct.
I think you said her was one.
Yes.
Did he also threaten her jaw?
Yes.
Was there also an incident where CH was placed with her grandmother that Mr. Bell showed up and threatened her?
According to CH, yes.
Not only her, but also the grandmother and the others in the home?
The grandmother also reported that Mr. Bell came to the home. The grandmother stated the threats were towards her, not towards CH.
And the threats included, I believe, etc.
Yes.
So obviously, well, no, change that. Did you advise him of the assault that happened to CH?
I did.
What was his response?
He also blamed her for initiating going with him.
Did he ever ask, as far as you know, to you or to CH anything about how she was doing as a result of that?
He did not ask me. I do not know if he asked CH or not.
You mentioned as far as drug screens, he was referred for random drug screens.
Yes.
Did he ever participate in any of the random drug screens?
No.
You gave him a couple when he was at the agency.
Yes.
Housing. He's indicated to you that he has appropriate housing, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the housing?
Yes. Most of the time that we meet, I go to his house.
Okay. And you mentioned also he talks about his girlfriends. Has he made any sort of inappropriate comments to you in reference to his girlfriends and his activities?
When I call him early, he says I could have been having sex with my girlfriend.
That's the only time that he's done that?
Yes. The only other reference to the girlfriend was he was upset that she was upset that I texted him at 1 o'clock in the morning.
And you mentioned, I just want to correct this here or make sure I understand this. In reference to counseling, you asked him to engage in counseling, but he refused.
Yes.
Did he offer to engage in any type of counseling?
He would participate in family counseling, and I have tried to reach out to several providers, and most of them were not able to work with them. He has done no effort on his own to find family counseling.
Why were they not able to work with him?
One was from insurance issues. The other, I don't recall.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Rains.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Hall, if I understand correctly, Ms. Enriquez provided you yesterday with a copy of a lease for her new apartment in Washington, D.C. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And does that lease evidence that it is a subsidized property?
I cannot say that right now. I don't recall.
Did you read the lease?
I did.
Okay. And your review of the lease, you cannot determine whether it's a subsidized tenancy?
Correct.
Okay. What's the duration of the lease?
From June 2024 to June 2025.
And what is the monthly rental payment?
I don't recall the payment.
All right. And is the document executed by Ms. Enriquez and a representative of the housing complex?
Yes, it was signed.
All right. And does it evidence that there is any involvement of the housing commission?
I was just sent the lease yesterday, so I did not have time to fully review it and fully remember everything on the document.
All right. Does the lease evidence how many people are authorized to live in the tenancy, and if so, how many?
It did not state that.
All right. It's true, is it not, that Ms. Enriquez has 2 other children in her care?
I do not know. She never informed me of that.
Okay. You know she has other children, yes?
Yes.
Do you know where those children live?
They, from my knowledge, are in a guardianship with Ms. Enriquez's mother.
All right. And is that a guardianship in what state?
Michigan.
All right. In what county?
Grand Rapids, Kent.
All right. And when was the last time you checked on the status of that guardianship?
Not recently.
All right. So do you actually know whether those children are still in a guardianship?
I mean, from my knowledge, I was never told otherwise. I don't.
You understand that guardianships can be modified.
Yes.
You understand that court's orders can be changed upon an appropriate petition and determination by that court.
Correct.
So when was the last time you checked on the status of that guardianship?
I could not tell you the date. Not recently.
Okay. This year?
Yes.
All right. So she's telling us today that she has 2 children in her care that are enrolled in school that have a primary care physician and a dentist in Washington, D.C. Yes?
Yes.
All right. But you haven't had an opportunity to make a determination of whether any of that's true. Is that correct?
I did not find out until this court hearing.
Okay. Tell me what, if any, contact have you had with her in the last 2 months?
Ms. Henriquez?
Yes.
I had a virtual visit with her on August 19th, and I have had several email correspondence with her.
During any
August
points of
19th.
contact, did she relate to you that she had these other 2 children in her care?
No, she did not.
All right. Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Green.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I believe it's been stated that CH, for the most part, was raised by her mother as a younger child. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so is it fair to say that would have a tremendous impact on her behavior and basically her paradigm for dealing with a variety of situations?
Ask that again.
Is it fair to say that would have a tremendous impact on her thought processes and her behavior in a variety of situations, if not all situations?
Yes.
Okay. And she's been, I believe you said 15 different places, and I think you said all of them have had a hard time keeping her safe?
Correct.
Okay. So basically, her view on the world and her inability to be safe are not kind of unique and cannot be completely attributed to Mr. Bell, can it?
No.
Okay. And I believe you said that CH wants to have a relationship with her father.
Correct.
And
sorry,
Mr. Bell.
I have to interrupt. Mr. Bell, you need to sit down somewhere. It's very difficult to watch the witness with your screen going all around. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Green.
Thank you, Hannah. And Mr. Bell wants a relationship with his daughter as well.
Correct.
Okay, and toward that end, I believe you said he completed successfully, and not with the first swing of the bat, but the second effort or third, he did complete the trauma-informed parenting, correct?
It was not the trauma-informed parenting. It was a different parenting class.
Okay, but he completed a parenting class, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry. He's recognized his mental health issues and is willing to seek treatment for that. Is that fair to say?
With completing counseling, no.
In terms of, I believe you said that he recognized and accepted that he has bipolar and he's sought hospitalization and he's willing to take medications, and I believe you listed a couple. Is that correct?
Yes. However, he has not been appearing to be taking the medication.
Okay. In terms of this, I need to be crystal clear, or hopefully you can be crystal clear on this. I believe you said, and I think I'm quoting you, there's no evidence of he's committed against his daughter. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Okay. And I know there's been several questions about sort of, I'm going to call it violent talk. You can use whatever label you want to. Has there been any comments about actual violence though, or is this just kind of, tough talk kind of thing?
Towards who?
Towards CH.
I mean, he did threaten to.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm not questioning what was said. I'm questioning, was anything ever done?
Oh, no.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Vanderkolk.
I have no cross-exam, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Gold, any further questions for the witness?
Yeah, just one quick follow-up here. You mentioned in reference to the Washington move here, she sent you a lease that was good from June of 2024,
Yes.
but she didn't move there until in mid-August of 2024. Is that correct? Is that what you were understood?
Yes.
Did she ever give you an explanation as to why she signed a lease for X number of dollars 2 months before she moved there?
No.
Thank you, Honor. Nothing further.
Mr. Raines,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Green,
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Vanderkolk, any follow-up to that question?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any additional witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gold, any witnesses?
No witnesses.
Mr. Raines, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Green, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Statements, Mr. Vanderkolk.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's clear that the evidence shows by clear and convincing evidence that neither parent has overcome any of the barriers to reunification. Ms. Henriquez is clearly in a state of denial as to CH's child characteristics, the trauma that she's endured at the hands of herself, Ms. Henriquez. You heard her testimony today. She still denies assaulting CH in the parking lot of their homeless shelter. We heard testimony that they were in the homeless shelter because of domestic violence in the home. Ms. Henriquez denies having any issues. She says she's ready to take CH back right now. So the denial and lack of insight is just absolutely glaring. Her lack of insight, her lack of sympathy or empathy for her daughter after she was assaulted at the shelter is a huge glaring concern. I can only imagine the hurt and the pain that CH has experienced and that she would be subjected to if she were returned to Ms. Henriquez's care in a town that CH has never been to before. We don't know what the condition of this alleged subsidized housing is. We've got the communication issues, resource availability and management, complete lack of appropriate parenting skills. The emotional stability is obviously not there. I think the court could see the paranoia coming out at times. We've got the therapist's report regarding her behavior and her abrupt ending of the sessions because the therapist refused to put his fingers to the lips, showing or his own finger to the lips per her command. Obviously, we've got emotional instability going on there. No insight into the domestic relations issues. We've got the volatility shown and experienced by Ms. Hall. Coming from Ms. Henriquez, the inappropriate and excessive emails, the inappropriate voicemails, the threats, aggressiveness, all show that Ms. Henriquez is not ready to take CH back after all this time in care. Mr. Bell, the testimony was clear. As of the last communication with Ms. Hall, he's still on the fence as to whether he even wants to care for his daughter, much less whether he's made any progress, which he hasn't. We've got the inappropriate comments. When he's contacted about CH running away, he's annoyed that he's made aware that she's gone AWOL at 1 a.m. because interrupting his sleep or whatever other activities he's engaged in at the time. He's testing positive for cocaine with no acceptance of responsibility, emotional instability, self-reporting, being diagnosed with bipolar, but not taking the medications, even though he claims he is. He's not in therapy for that. the court's aware of all the barriers that he has not overcome. The best interest factors all weigh in favor of termination of both parents' parental rights, despite CH's desire to live with her mother. That's understandable. A 13-year-old girl would love to go live where there's no rules and she can do what she wants. That's what she's used to, and that's evidently why one of the reasons she's struggling in residential care. But that's no reason to give in and put her back in a situation that she was removed from, where she was assaulted, and her batterer has failed to take responsibility for assaulting CH. So everything points to termination as being in CH's best interest, and the statutory grounds have clearly been met. So I'd ask the court give CH the permanence and finality and stability that she cannot get from her parents at this time by terminating both of their parental rights. Thank you.
Mr. Gold.
Thank you, Honor. As this court is aware through the court files, and I believe the court could take judicial notice of everything that's occurred, and I believe the court does. This case came from Hawaii. It was transferred here from the court in Hawaii. It was not as if the child was sent here voluntarily by Miss Enriquez. The court transferred the child here to be with Mr. Bell. Miss Enriquez does not acknowledge or even appreciate the fact that her actions at the time caused CH to come before the court. Miss Enriquez, throughout the entirety of this case, has refused to cooperate with any type of services. Everything that's been asked of her is, no, I'm not doing that, or you have to try to find me a place, and they try to find her a place and she doesn't follow through. Documented throughout all the reports of this case. As far as we know, truthfully, there was no living arrangement in Hawaii. We had a lease that was given, well, an address originally given that was of a shelter. And I believe it was not even a shelter. I just believe it was, as noted in the termination report, a place where you could take a shower and get something to eat, use the bathroom. It was not an overnight shelter. That was the address. She then provided a lease that overlapped that time frame, supposedly of this new $2,000 a month apartment, when she only makes $900 a month. Would not allow anybody to come and visit. Now she's moved to Washington, D.C. Even though she moved there in early part of August, she sends a lease here the day before the termination hearing with this apartment that, again, she signed in June of 2024, but did not move in until August of 2024, and only notified the worker briefly or shortly before today of the address there. So nobody knows whether or not there is any place there. Mom has not significantly shown to the court that she has any type of appropriate housing. Although she has said that the two other children are there, we don't have any verification of that. The children were in a guardianship with the grandmother and had been in a guardianship for, I believe, a few years, long while she was in Hawaii and now supposedly in Washington, D.C. The other thing I think is extremely important as far as showing the lack of concern and love for her daughter, they offered to have CH go out to Hawaii to visit with her. And she says, no, because I don't want them to have the workers to have a vacation. That is about the most ridiculous type of an excuse anybody could ever give. You're going to bring your daughter out there to see her. You can have time with her, but no, you can't come out here because I don't want you to have a vacation. Then she's in New York for, as she testified, 3 months. Never, ever once made any effort to have any personal face-to-face contact with her daughter when she's come all the way from Hawaii to New York. And it would be a 10-hour trip from New York to Michigan to see her daughter. I don't want to come to Michigan, so I'm not going to see my daughter. That shows a total lack of interest on Miss Enriquez's part for her daughter. Now she's in Washington, D.C., and again, she has not made any effort to have a personal visit with her daughter. She is content on a 30-minute phone call once a week to talk to her, to catch up on her, and that's good enough. That's the mother-daughter relationship that suits Miss Enriquez. As noted in the termination report, a total lack of effort by Miss Enriquez, as well as all the voluminous reports throughout the entirety of the case, showing Miss Enriquez's lack of effort in this matter. Mr. Bell, originally, he did not want this child in his care because she was not paying for groceries and would not contribute financially to the home. And I believe at the time that she was there, she was 12 years old, police there. He called the police to tell them to come and get her, as again noted in all the reports, or he was going to break her jaw and or choke her. Subsequent to that, he goes to the grandmother's house where CH is placed for a period of time, threatens CH, threatens the grandmother with physical violence. He does not participate in any services at all. He's taken one psychological evaluation, but has refused everything else. He refused to take random drug screens, did take 1 or 2 or 3 maybe at this agency, one of which came back positive for cocaine. Doesn't know if he wants a daughter in his care, expressed absolutely no concern for his daughter when she was subject to a Your Honor, the proofs in this case need to be clear and convincing, and I believe Mr. Van Kolk has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the parental rights of both of these parents should be terminated in this situation. This child has been through extensive trauma. This child has learned that she can run around the streets and do whatever she wants, and with no parental guidance or control, which has significantly placed her in jeopardy. I will say, I talked with, CH Monday afternoon, just discussed with her somewhat as far as what the case was all about. She did express a desire to go back with her mother, did not with Mr. Bell. But she understood what the concerns were, and there was no crying, there was no remorse, she was not upset at all as far as the possibility of termination. Again, I think as stated, her whole desire was to be back with mom because then she could do whatever she wants to do. Your Honor, again, it's been proven clearly in this matter that termination is in the best interest of this child, and I would ask the court to order the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Enriquez has testified today that she has stable housing, that she has made arrangements for 2 other children that are residing in her care, and that she has adequate income to provide for this child and those children. I'd ask the court to give that testimony appropriate weight. She has also provided a lease agreement evidencing the new stable housing. She previously had stable housing in the state of Hawaii and was able to comply with service requirements there. Given those circumstances, Your Honor, I would ask the court to deny the petition.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
Yes, briefly, first, with all due respect to Ms. Hall, I appreciate her efforts with this case. Obviously, respectively, I'm going to disagree with the recommendation based upon the following reasons. First, CA was raised by her mother for years. It's had a huge impact on who she is and her sense of right and wrong and her sense of accountability. This has also been manifested in 15 different placements. So to say that, you know, someone like Mr. Bell, who's trying to develop some accountability, perhaps sounding a bit heavy-handed, but trying to develop some accountability, I think is not fair, to be honest. He wants a relationship with her. She wants a relationship with him. He did complete a parenting class. You know, he's had his struggles, but I think that he's dealing with them. And I shudder to think if we dragged every parent in here or took away the parental rights of every parent that said to their child, you know, sit down, I'm going to smack you one. If you don't start flying right, I'm going to knock you into the middle of next week. There wouldn't be enough time if we ran courts 24 hours a day, Your Honor. So by virtue that he hasn't taken any violent action against her while he's been with her, I think underscores he's trying to make her sit up in the buggy and trying to make her understand some accountability. That said, I'm sure that he cares about her. And again, I would respectfully disagree with the recommendation. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I will be, given the lateness of the day, I will be rendering my opinion on Friday morning at 8 a.m. It will be the same Zoom channel. It will be also live streamed. Sorry? Okay. I will be terminating parental rights. If you do not wish to attend, you are not required to attend. But again, 8 o'clock Friday morning. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Notified or noticed out for the court's oral termination opinion in this matter. This matter involves a petition by the Kent County Prosecuting Attorney's Office filed in this court on August 16th, 2024. In the petition, the prosecuting attorney requests an order terminating parental rights and placing this child in the permanent custody of the court. An adjudication was held on June 7th, 2023, and the child was found to come within the jurisdiction of the court. CH was removed from her mother's care in Hawaii on December 15th, 2022 due to physical abuse. A conversation between the Hawaiian judge and this judge caused the case to be transferred to Michigan, and CH was placed in her father's care here in Michigan on March 27, 2023. CH was removed from his care 6 days later on April 3rd, 2023, when he refused to provide care. The parents, Lori Ann Enriquez and Andre Bell, appeared with counsel, stated their objections to termination of their parental rights. The parties stipulated to a virtual termination hearing due to Ms. Enriquez's location out of state. Pursuant to the statute and court rules, the court has conducted previous hearings on this case, and this court takes judicial notice of the testimony and exhibits admitted in those prior hearings. Further additional testimony and exhibits have been presented concerning the termination opinion, or concerning the termination petition. The court has weighed the credibility of the witnesses. The court has also considered the weight to be given to written and oral reports received as evidence, and has carefully determined the probative value of these reports. The relevant testimony is summarized in part as follows. Ms. Enriquez testified on her own behalf and testified that she's currently living in Washington, D.C., that her parenting style with CH was that, quote, she was really tough on her. Quote, I've been doing this with CH since she was a little girl, end quote. That from her perspective, the child was never removed from her, but she simply agreed for her to go with her father. Ms. Enriquez denied assaulting CH, said the witnesses who were present lied and that any charges were dropped. She believes that she's emotionally stable. She attended virtual therapy and called that person the best one in Honolulu, but couldn't get in to see him frequently enough. She didn't understand why she was supposed to go to counseling, and that being away from her child is the only reason for her emotional instability. She testified that she speaks with CH 2 to 3 times a week, but that CH is very busy with her activities. That she has 2 other children who are living with her in Washington, D.C., 16-year-old and 15-year-old. That she admits that she has not attempted to personally visit CH since the removal, not since she's been living in Washington, D.C., and not while she was in New York for a funeral at one point during the case. Ms. Enriquez also testified that she saw another therapist, Mr. Ackerman, a virtual therapist, saw him for 4 weeks, and admitted that she discussed being physically abused by the government, that the federal courthouse is investigating. She denied that she asked him to put his finger to his lip at one point. She testified that he was miming oral sex, that she stopped the conversation at that point, and said she wasn't going to return to him for counseling. She denied being diagnosed with any mental illness. She said her sessions with him were supposed to be 45 minutes, but they were generally only 10 minutes. She testified that she rescheduled any missed therapy visits and denied missing any visits that she did not make up. She further testified that she's been in Washington, D.C. Since August of 2024, and that she had signed a lease back in June of 2024 in Washington, D.C., that she's been trying to set up a psychological evaluation. She further testified that she receives government assistance in the form of SSI in the amount of $914 a month. Her disability is that she cannot stand or walk too much, that she takes over-the-counter ibuprofen, but also has a prescription for ibuprofen. She receives $350 a month in food stamps and also receives transportation assistance, that she currently has an unfinished apartment in Washington, D.C. She testified that she notified the worker immediately upon her move and sent a copy of the lease. That she also admitted that she was in New York for about 3 months for a funeral, and stated that the reason that she did not come to Michigan to visit CH was that she outgrew Michigan and she wasn't going back. Ms. Kara Hall, the caseworker in this matter, has been the caseworker since June of 2023. She also testified. She testified that, to her knowledge, up until the time of the hearing, the termination hearing, that mother's two other kids were in a Kent County guardianship with Ms. Enrique's own mother, and that this was a surprise to her to hear that these two children were in Ms. Enrique's custody. And the court notes that the first hearing in this matter with the court was June 7th, 2023. And throughout this case, there's been no mention by Ms. Enriquez that she had custody of her other children until the termination hearing. Ms. Hall testified that this case was brought to the court's attention as a result of Ms. Enriquez assaulting Canada in the parking lot of a homeless shelter in December of 2022. And as the court's already indicated, CH was removed from her care at that time. Parenting skills is the first barrier that was identified for Ms. Enriquez to overcome in order to reunify with CH. She's made little to no progress in her parenting skills despite the number of services that have been offered. She blames CH for all of the issues in her parenting skills. CH blames herself regarding the removal, believes it's her fault that she was removed from her mother. Ms. Enriquez was offered video visits, telephone calls with CH. Early on in the case, she was initially appropriate during these virtual visits, but she did discuss the case and her negative thoughts about the caseworker, and this escalated as the case progressed. Ms. Enriquez began missing calls or joining the calls late. She was offered extensive parenting time, at least virtually, and at one point asked that the parenting time be cut in half because she didn't have anything to talk about with her. At one point, Ms. Enriquez did have a 45-minute unsupervised phone call with CH, and it's unknown what was said during that conversation. Ms. Hall testified that she offered to bring Ms. Enriquez to Michigan for a visit with CH. She also offered to bring CH to Hawaii to visit with mother, and Ms. Enriquez refused both of those offers. Unfortunately, later in this case, CH was removed to a residential placement and reported being sexually assaulted. When Ms. Enriquez was informed of this by CH, she cursed at her, told her she was disappointed, told her it was her fault, and threatened to leave her in foster care. And again, CH has blamed herself after this conversation for the assault. During the phone calls, virtual parenting time that she was having with CH, often Ms. Enriquez was sitting on the beach in Hawaii saying how wonderful it was there, provided unrealistic timeframes to CH, indicating that she would be reunited during that time frame. Talked very negatively about Mr. Bell, the father in this case, as well as all of the workers involved. Ms. Hall testified that she did speak with Ms. Enriquez about these conversations and the inappropriateness of the subject matter, and Ms. Enriquez indicated that she would stop, but she continued. Due to the conversations, Ms. Enriquez sitting on the beach, showing what a wonderful life she was having, this negatively impact CH, who believes that her mother is happier without her as a result. Ms. Enriquez subsequently called the shelter where CH was residing after the assault, cursed them out on a phone call. Then she called the shelter back several times, left lengthy threatening messages that continued until the voicemail time ran out. She cursed at them. She said she would get them fired. And when testifying at the termination hearing, Ms. Enriquez denied making lengthy threatening calls, other than she did admit that she may have said that she would get them fired or that they could be fired. Ms. Enriquez was referred to the MSU Extension virtual parenting class. She did engage, did not complete, but did engage. But the evidence that she did not benefit from this class was revealed in the conversation that she had with CH regarding the sexual assault. She also Ms. Enriquez also engaged in a trauma-informed parenting class twice, but did not successfully complete it due to joining late, leaving early for several class sessions. She did later participate in another parenting class and was defensive and gave unrelated answers to questions, but she did complete the course because of her failure to benefit or internalize the information. She was only given a certificate of completion, again, due to her tardiness and lack of engagement. Ms. Enriquez has failed to take any responsibility for the reasons that CH was taken into care. Again, she testified that she believes that the child was never removed from her when the facts are that she was. She said that the reason that CH was not returned to her after she was removed from her father, Mr. Bell, was because she didn't take a parenting class. Ms. Enriquez has made poor progress on this barrier, and it remains a barrier to reunification with CH. The next barrier is emotional stability. Ms. Enriquez denies having any outbursts in phone conversations. However, the testimony by Ms. Hall and the evidence in this case shows that she, in fact, frequently has outbursts and has difficulty regulating her emotions. The location of Ms. Enriquez for most of this case in Hawaii has made it difficult to provide her services, but the evidence throughout this case does show that Ms. Hall made extraordinary efforts to try to connect Ms. Enriquez with services in Hawaii. She tried to set up a psychological evaluation numerous times in Hawaii and asked that Ms. Enriquez assist by following through with the referrals, following up with the providers. The time difference has also been is also complicated the attempts to provide services to Ms. Enriquez, but services were located and Ms. Enriquez was informed, but she failed to follow through. Ms. Hall testified that she contacted 8 different therapists and finally was able to set something up with Mr. Ackerman. And Ms. Enriquez attended 3 appointments but missed 5. Ms. Enriquez did set up a behavioral intake appointment with Waikiki Health Clinic in October of 2023 and did an assessment, but the assessment was entirely based on self-disclosure, and the conclusion of the assessment was that she did not need counseling. However, this is not consistent with her behaviors throughout this case. There were also no evidence. There was also no evidence that there was a psychologist who was involved in that assessment. Ms. Enriquez was asked to attend weekly or biweekly counseling at that health clinic, but she did not do so. Ms. Enriquez has been very hostile with the worker and other providers in this case. CH has extreme needs. Those needs have been explained to her many times, but she does not understand, shows no insight into CH's needs, and her own emotional instability seems to interfere with the understanding and internalization of that. Most recently this summer, she did attend counseling on June 27th, July 12th, and July 31st, but missed appointments on June 17th, 21st, 26th, and July 19th and 24th. The counselor diagnosed her with paranoid personality disorder and recommended a psychiatric evaluation as well as medication. Again, this is the counselor that Ms. Enriquez said was mimicking oral sex in their last session, and that she terminated the counseling relationship. Again, Ms. Hall's had difficulty getting responses from therapists in Hawaii, and Ms. Enriquez refused to reach out to get the reports herself when asked to assist. However, there was an exhibit admitted that did show the diagnosis of paranoid personality disorder and the recommendation for a psychiatric evaluation as well as medication. Emotional stability remains a barrier to reunification, as there's been essentially no progress in this area. The next barrier is child characteristics, as already mentioned. CH has a significant trauma history, has complex needs. She's suffered physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. She's made health statements towards caregivers. And Ms. Enriquez does not see any of this as an issue, believes that Canada is a normal child. To illustrate, around Christmas of 2023, Ms. Enriquez sent CH a phone, despite being told that she was using it to communicate with random men, and that it was not a good idea and would put her in harm's way. She sent it despite that. Ms. Enriquez blames CH and everyone else involved regarding the situation, and believes CH should have a phone and not be supervised whatsoever, and have the ability to go where and when she wants. Child characteristics remains a significant barrier to reunification. The next barrier is housing. Ms. Enriquez has given conflicting information regarding, first, where she was living at the beginning of this case. The evidence shows that she and CH were in fact residing in a domestic violence or a homeless shelter when CH was removed. The address that she provided in August 2023 was for a homeless shelter. But then she submitted later an apartment lease from December 2022 to December 2023, indicating a payment of $2,000 a month for rent. She receives $914 a month in SSI benefits, and the math doesn't work out regarding how she afforded that apartment. Or why she provided an address for a homeless shelter as her residence in August of 2023. Throughout the case, she refused to allow a virtual visit or a physical tour of her residence by the caseworker. Her excuse for not allowing the physical visit when the caseworker actually went to Hawaii was because she didn't want the workers to get a free vacation to Hawaii, and she refused a tour of her residence. She did send pictures of the apartment, which showed that the apartment was empty. She never updated those photos to show any furniture. Ms. Enriquez's excuse, along with the fact that she didn't want them to get a free trip to Hawaii, was that she's overprotective of herself and her life would be in danger if she sent any videos. But she was unable to explain why her life would be in danger. Ms. Enriquez also sent what appeared to be a forged lease to show that she had an apartment from December 19th, 2023 to December 18th, 2023. The dates on the lease were handwritten over the top of the previous lease. The dates don't make sense. Ms. Enriquez's version is that she and the landlord just agreed to change the dates on the previous lease. She stated that her housing assistance covered 60% of her rent, but on her budget form, she indicated that she paid $678 in rent and utilities. The budget completed earlier in this case showed a significant deficit with no explanation for how she was meeting her needs. Ms. Hall also attempted to get a courtesy visit by Hawaiian caseworkers before she physically went to Hawaii herself. But Hawaii's policy is not to do home visits unless the parent is close to reunification. Since that was not the case, they refused the courtesy visit. On August 19th, 2024, according to Ms. Hall, Ms. Enriquez told her she was in Washington, D.C. Despite being requested, no pictures were sent, no lease was sent, no verification was sent until the day before the termination hearing, which was September 17, 2024. And that was the first time that Ms. Hall received Ms. Enriquez's new address or any verification of her housing, despite several requests. She never told Ms. Hall that she was planning on leaving Hawaii and moving to Washington, D.C. The only explanation she gave was that this investigation that's going on regarding the government physically assaulting her was that she needed to be in Washington, D.C. The lease that was provided shows a lease running from June 24th to June 25th. I'm sorry, June of 2024 to June of 2025, with no explanation as to why she did not move until August of 2024. Because of all the uncertainty regarding Ms. Enriquez's current housing situation, housing situation throughout this case, this remains a barrier to reunification. The next barrier is resource availability and management. As already indicated, she was requested to complete a budget in October of 2023 and January in 2024. And the one that she did do showed a significant deficit and showed that she would be unable to support CH if returned to her. And now we're being told that she has 2 other children in her care. Again, unknown how she can provide support for any of these children on $914 a month SSI transportation and food stamps assistance. So resource availability and management continue to remain a barrier to reunification. The next barrier is domestic relations. As already indicated by the court, Ms. Enriquez was residing in a homeless shelter in Hawaii due to domestic violence that occurred between her and her partner at that time. She's also been very aggressive, hostile with all the workers in this case. She was also substantiated for threatening a DHHS employee with physical harm and assaulting, resisting, obstructing a police officer in 2016. She has a history of inability to control her anger in an appropriate way. Mr. Bell also had reported to Ms. Hall that he and Ms. Enriquez had put hands on one another during their relationship. Ms. Enriquez was referred to a domestic violence assessment in Hawaii, which she initially refused to complete, then finally was rescheduled several times, but eventually did submit to it on March 27th, 2024 with Hawaii DHHS. However, despite this court's orders that Ms. Enriquez sign any necessary releases, Ms. Enriquez never gave consent for Ms. Hall to speak with the Domestic Violence Assessment Agency or see the report that was issued. Therefore, domestic relations remains a barrier to reunification. The next barrier is communication and interpersonal skills. Again, Ms. Enriquez has her communication style is aggressive and hostile, and particularly with the worker in this case and anyone essentially involved in this case, either for CH as a shelter placement. She's sent a forged lease regarding that initial apartment or the second apartment. She did not return a signed treatment plan. She continues to refuse any virtual residence tours and in-home visits. If she doesn't receive a response within 5 minutes, she blows up everyone's phones and voicemails. She also had a very hostile phone conversation with CH following CH's sexual assault, cursing at her, blaming her, threatening and cursing at the shelter staff. She's accused agency workers of being on drugs and molesting children when they disagree with her or telling her that there's something telling her something she doesn't want to hear. So communication and interpersonal skills remain barriers to reunification with CH. Turning to testimony regarding Mr. Bell, the father. The first barrier is parenting skills. Again, Mr. Bell took custody of Canada in March, or of CH in March of 2023 after she was removed from her mother, Ms. Enriquez. She was there 6 days, and Mr. Bell called CPS and stated that he could no longer care for her due to her bad attitude, that he was going to draw her or her grandmother, where she stayed for a while as respite. He called her derogatory names. When the Grand Rapids Police Department visited the next day, he stated he wanted her out of his home and he would no longer care for her. CH has reported being physically and emotionally abused by her father. In July of 2023, Mr. Bell indicated that he believed that CH needed to change before he would allow her to return home, saying that she was disrespectful, didn't follow rules as he felt she should. He even mentioned that she did not contribute to the household or the bills. He did not participate in any parenting time with CH between April 2023, when she was removed from his care, until January 2024, because CH did not want parenting time with her father. Mr. Bell was referred to parent nurturing class in November 2023, which he did complete. And he did begin engaging in parenting times after January of 2024, attending 3 out of 7 scheduled sessions for the month of March. But then he began failing to appear for scheduled visits and refused to do any further parenting classes or any other services other than family counseling. His excuse was that he needed to pay bills because he physically went places to pay bills at the beginning of the month. By June of 2024, he'd only attended 6 of 22 scheduled visits with CH. He did submit to a psychological evaluation, which recommended that he needed further parenting tips and parenting skills. CH was negatively affected by his failure to appear for parenting times. Mr. Bell has never acknowledged how that impacted CH, and as a result, CH blames herself for his lack of parenting time and failure to appear. Mr. Bell has not seen CH since she moved to a youth shelter at the end of June 2024. Again, Mr. Bell has stated that he would not let her back in his home until she actually improves herself. At the end of June of 2024, after the physical assault that CH endured, they had a conversation in which he told her that she needed to improve herself, that she needed to better herself, and that she could not come home until she did so. CH told her father that she didn't want to ever see him again, and he responded by saying that he was done. He's been ambivalent with the caseworker, Ms. Hall, about whether or not he wanted to pursue reunification, but he did state that he did not want any visits, whether virtual or in person, with CH at that time. Over the last 2 weeks, immediately before the termination hearing, he's had a couple of virtual visits with CH because she has called him. Ms. Hall reports that CH does not want to live with him, but wants to rebuild a relationship with him, and again continues to blame herself for the situation. Parenting skills, therefore, remains a barrier to Mr. Bell's reunification with CH. The next barrier is emotional stability. Mr. Bell missed 2 psychological evaluations, and Ms. Hall finally drove him to his 3rd psychological evaluation. And that's when it was finally completed. Again, his instability is reflected in the incident that caused CH to be removed from his care after only 6 days, where he stated he was going to break her jaw and kill her family and called her derogatory names. Mr. Bell admits that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and that he's been hospitalized at Pine Rest once or twice in the past few years. He stated that he was prescribed to manage his mental health, but that he was not taking those medications, and they were not showing up on his drug screens. He also stated that he was taking 2 other medications for his mental health, even though they are not mental health medications. They're for one's an antihistamine, another is a blood pressure medication. In addition, he was not attending any therapy for his bipolar condition, and his difficulty managing his feelings and his responses to interpersonal relationships. He gives up easily, told CH that he was done, and blamed her for her assault, again, all reflecting emotional instability and difficulty in processing anger and other feelings when dealing with a child. Emotional stability, therefore, remains a barrier to reunification. The next barrier is child characteristics. Mr. Bell refused to attend CH's trauma assessment because it was scheduled too early for him at 10 a.m. Again, CH has a significant trauma history. There's been difficulty in obtaining services for her due to her behavioral issues and her high needs. She's had 15 different placements. There was an investigation into allegations of abuse that CH accused Mr. Bell of that was not substantiated. She has a history of skipping classes, domestic violence and placements, being expelled from school. Her electronics have to be closely monitored because of inappropriate content on her cell phone and contact with much older men. She has a history of self-harm, ideations, and Mr. Bell has demonstrated no insider interest in her special needs and her issues. Again, minimizing them, saying that she needs to change before he would let her back in her home, blames her behavior on her living with her mother for most of her life. He has made no progress understanding her issues, and child characteristics remains a barrier to reunification. Domestic relations is the next barrier for Mr. Bell. He threatened to CH at the time of her removal from him. Some reports indicating that he threatened to break her jaw. He and Ms. Enriquez were together for 13 years. There apparently was a lot of conflict in that relationship. And he did admit that they had put hands on each other. Mr. Bell has 2 criminal charges from his past regarding domestic altercations, including felony assault with a dangerous weapon and assault and battery. He's also threatened to harm not only Canada, but her grandmother and other family. Mr. Bell was referred to the YWCA to address those domestic relations issues, but he refused to participate in this or even general counseling, stating that he had already paid his debt to society and would not do so again, and that he was not on probation. So domestic relations remains a barrier for reunification for Mr. Bell. The next barrier is communication and interpersonal skills. Initially in the case, Mr. Bell was responsive and communicated well with the worker and was open in his discussion. However, he began to not appear for parenting time visits. He began to speak inappropriately with the worker when communicating about his morning routine and sexual things that he could be doing with his girlfriend rather than being on the phone with the worker. He told Ms. Hall that they were doing too much, bothering him, trying to set him up with services. He frequently did not answer texts or phone calls, and again, continued to speak inappropriately with the worker about his sex life and morning routines. When she texted him at 1 a.m. regarding the assault that CH had suffered, he said that it could have waited until morning and that it was interfering with his relationship with his girlfriend. Again, Mr. Bell was most inappropriate when speaking with CH at the most recent parenting time visit, which ended in them, or not the most recent, the last parenting visit up until the last 2 weeks. So this would have been in July of 2024 or June of 2024 when he told CH she wasn't doing anything to better herself, and she told him that she didn't want to have any more contact with him. He has spoken aggressively to the worker on the phone and has hung up on her on occasions. So communication and interpersonal skills remain barriers to reunification. The final barrier is substance abuse. Mr. Bell reported smoking a joint of marijuana and drinking beer a few times a week. However, during the CPS investigation, he appeared to be drunk during a 9:30 a.m. phone call with the investigator. He was slurring his words, and he said he'd been out at the bars. He tested positive for cocaine on May 22nd, 2024. He reported that he attended Narcotics Anonymous a couple of years ago for approximately 22 meetings, and that it helped him cut down on his drinking. He was referred for random drug screening due to his refusal to take a drug test. He did not participate in any drug screens, and then later agreed to be screened at his parenting visits. On March 27th and April 25th, 2024, he was negative for all substances, including his prescribed medications, but then he tested positive for cocaine again on May 22nd, 2024, and refused to do any further drug screens. He's consistently denied using, however. CH and others have reported that Mr. Bell drinks excessively and uses cocaine. Again, he stated that he would not do any further drug screen or drug testing because he was not on probation. So this substance abuse remains a barrier to reunification with CH. Based on the evidence and record in this matter, the court finds by clear and convincing evidence that a statutory basis exists for terminating the parental rights of Lori Ann Enriquez and Andre Bell, including but not limited to the following. Section 19B3A2, that Andre Bell deserted his child for 91 or more days and has not sought custody of the child during that period of time. despite the parenting time that he is recently engaged in the last 2 weeks. The court finds that it's just too little and too late. Section 19B, 3C1, that both parents are respondents in a protective proceeding that has been brought under the juvenile code, that 182 or more days have elapsed since the issuance of an initial dispositional order, and that the conditions that led to the initial adjudication continue to exist, and there is no reasonable likelihood that the conditions will be rectified within a reasonable time considering the age of the child. Section 19B3G, that both parents, although in the court's discretion, financially able to do so, fail to provide proper care or custody for the child, and that there's no reasonable expectation that the parents will be able to provide proper care and custody within a reasonable time considering the child's age. Section 19B3J, that there's a reasonable likelihood based upon the conduct or capacity of the child's parents that the child will be harmed if she is returned to the home of a parent. The court finds that reasonable efforts have been made to preserve and reunify the family and make it possible for the child to safely return home. Those efforts were unsuccessful. Turning to best interests, this phase of the proceedings focuses on the child and not the parents. The first is the child's bond to each of the parents. The testimony was that CH's bond to father is weak. She hasn't really spent much time with him during the course of her life. That she wants to build a bond, but again, the bond does not appear to be there at this time, or whatever bond is there is very weak and perhaps even a trauma bond. As far as Ms. Enriquez, CH feels that her mother does not want her. In fact, she doesn't feel that either her parents want her, but she does want to return to mother. And the worker indicated that that's because there are no rules. The court can take judicial notice that CH was also a delinquency ward for a time, and CH definitely prefers a structure where there's no rules and that she can do as she wishes. The worker's opinion was that the breaking of any bond that exists with either parent would not be difficult. And the lawyer guardian ad litem indicated that she showed no emotional upset when he talked with her about the possibility of termination of parental rights a couple of days ago. The court finds this factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the parent's parenting ability. As the court has already found, Mr. Bell missed many parenting times, and he's indicated that he's ambivalent regarding parenting time, putting the burden on her to change with little to no effort on his part, or in little to no acknowledgement of his part in her issues, her behavioral issues. Ms. Enriquez reduced her parenting time because there was not enough to talk about at one point. She's had inappropriate conversations, negative comments about Mr. Bell, about workers, and giving CH unrealistic timeframes for reunifications, discussing the case. The court finds that both parents' parenting ability is poor, and this factor weighs in favor of termination for both parents. The next factor is the child's need for permanency, stability, and finality. Neither parent is stable emotionally. It would take 9 months to a year, according to Ms. Hall, for reunification to occur if both parents or either parent immediately and fully invested in their treatment plan. This child's been waiting long enough, and this factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the advantages of a foster home over the parent's home. CH is in residential placement. And that's never preferable to a home, whether it be a foster home or a parent's home. This factor weighs in favor of termination, regardless, because neither one of these parents' homes are appropriate for this child and will only result in further trauma to her. Residential placement is not ideal, but really it's the only hope at this point that she has. The next is a parent's history of domestic violence. Both parents have admitted that there have been domestic violence between them. Both parents have shown their own propensity to hostile, aggressive, and abusive interactions in their interpersonal lives. This factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is a parent engaging in questionable relationships. The evidence was that Ms. Enriquez was in a homeless shelter due to domestic violence from her partner at that time. Mr. Bell has referenced girlfriends who are interfering with his relationship with CH or in her best interest, prioritizing those girlfriends over CH's needs. This factor weighs in favor of termination for both parents. Next factor is the parent's compliance with the case service plan. Neither parent has complied with their case service plan more than minimally. This factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the parent's visitation history with the child. Regarding Ms. Enriquez, she has refused in-person parenting time with her child. She asked at one point that her parenting time be reduced due to the fact that they had nothing to talk about. And she had inappropriate conversations with CH, including blaming her for her own sexual abuse. Mr. Bell had no parenting time for a significant amount of time up until the beginning of this year with CH. Then he had a few, failed to appear for many, which negatively impacted her and reinforced for her the fact that neither of her parents want her. This factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the child's well-being while in care. As the court has already indicated, this child was assaulted while in placement. She's had 15 different placements due to her behavior. But the court cannot find that her well-being while in care has been good. So the court will weigh this factor against termination. The next factor is the possibility of adoption. Given CH's behavioral issues and her high needs, this factor weighs against termination. Well, adoption is probably not an option for her. The next factor is the opinion of experts, including psychologists, therapists, the caseworker, and the LGAL. In this matter, the caseworker, the LGAL, and the CASA all support termination. Therefore, this factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the child's wishes, if given at a sufficient age to express a preference. The LGAL and the caseworker reported that CH would like to return to her mother and that she would like to rebuild her relationship with her father. But The return to her mother appears to be based on a desire to run the streets and have no rules. So it's not a healthy preference or a reasonable preference. And sadly, her wishes regarding her father is to create a relationship that really isn't there at this point. So this factor weighs in favor of termination, despite the fact that she did express a preference against it. The next factor is the length of time the child has been in foster care. CH has been in foster care since December 15th of 2022, 21 months. This factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the length of time the child may be required to wait for the parent to rectify conditions. The testimony of Ms. Hall was that if both parents fully engaged immediately in their parent treatment plan, it would take each of them at least 9 months or more to overcome their barriers. This factor weighs in favor of termination. The next factor is the bond that exists between siblings. Again, I believe the court, well, for sure the court and others involved in this case were surprised to hear that Ms. Enriquez has custody of 2 of her children. There was no evidence regarding, at any point in this case, regarding that, number one. Number two, no evidence regarding any bond between CH and these other 2 children. So the court finds that's a neutral factor. Therefore, from the testimony and record in this matter, and considering the legislative mandate for permanency and by preponderance of the evidence, this court finds that the best interest of this child will be served through termination of parental rights. The parental rights of Lorianne Enriquez and Andre Bell are terminated, and additional efforts for reunification of the child with the parent shall not be made. The child is committed to the Department for Permanency Planning, Supervision, Care, and Placement under MCL 400.203. All attorneys are discharged except the LGAL, Richard Gould, and a post-termination hearing will be held on a date to be determined before referee Kessler.